Hi, welcome back. I got a notification from YouTube that streaming was down, and now I've put it onto Restream, which is multi-streaming across both. Might be a little bit janky. Hello, Ivan doesn't look worried at all. So we should be back. Sorry about that. We've got a window up so we can see both streams now in the chat.
Don't cross the streams.
Don't cross the streams. I think it's streaming on YouTube as live event, which is really useful. Thanks, Restream. Or thanks my kind of blind panic, I should say. So give us just a minute here and we'll get back into the movie. So everybody reset your thing. I need to put my fucking...
So what were you saying? It's 849 hours?
Yes, yeah, 849 hours.
That's too many hours.
I know, right? But I think more hours are better. I just think a higher number of hours is a better thing. So I just have to add the Twitch stuff in. So give me a sec. Because I took it all out because I thought I won't restream tonight.
So if you can see anything, type in the chat preferred Simpsons quote, just so we know you're there.
Dijon Coleman had to download Twitch for this. Go to the... Oh, he's on his phone or something. I love you, Dijon. I love you. Make sure yeah, okay, so look, here we go. Slightly squeaky bum time, but we're getting there. Squeakiest bums. Just get extra fun chat. Yeah, okay, so it's on YouTube it's on fucking YouTube as Day of the Dead watch party, which is fun. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna rename that.
Gonna rename it to Nice 88. Oh, you could have kept Dead there.
Oh fuck!
Don't worry, efficiency. Typing efficiency is low.
I mean, my heart rate isn't racing. I can I can check that now. No, it's not made for kids.
Run, don't walk. To Twitch.
Okay, there we go. So I think we're on. So sorry about that.
Lisa
everyone.
needs braces.
Dental plan. Let's get my Twitch.
Jumanji. Nice. that's a good cut.
Twitch view account. There we go. Okay, we've got a nice split between Twitch and YouTube now. Most people on Twitch. Thank you so much for bearing with us.
Kingston, is that two honking geese? On the chat, he's dropped that.
Oh, yes, it is. Look,
Brilliant.
He's ready for multiplayer Untitled Goose Game.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's going to be great. Okay, there we go. We're back. Sorry about that, guys. Fucking palaver. But we're good. So
Ian YouTube
we should
strikes
be.
again.
No guarantee this isn't going to go to bollocks again. But whatevs. So there we go. It feels like I'm wearing nothing at all. Okay. So I don't understand these modern things. People who will be incentivized to subscribe with new emojis. Yeah, Twitch does that, and I did some custom Valverde emojis. But I going back to a conversation earlier about feeling like old men. This is very much. Z says, "OMG, are you and Ivan going to play the new Goose Game?" Yes, we've got it. Ivan's played it more than me, but we're definitely going to do multiplayer mode, right? I think that's got to be done.
Get two controls. Do some double honking.
Double honking. Can I play the piano anymore? How could I be so wrong? It was Earth all along. Okay, good. I think we're ready to go back in. I've got multi-chat, so if you're chatting, we can see everybody chatting on both platforms and stuff. So away we go. Right, so please, once again, if you could get your copy of DeadHeat ready, if you have one. And we're going to go in. So I'm just going to count in from 10. Not be ridiculous.
Not 14?
How about 7?
Okay.
Yeah. Well, that's half of 14. I don't like that. Let's do 9. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we're back. We're back. All right. Cool. So here we go, DeadHeat. That has absolutely thrown me off. I don't know about you, but I'm all over the fucking place now. We've gone into a world of Simpsons quotes, which is deeply pleasing to me at any time, really.
I thought that'd be a good. That'll scratch the itch.
Rally the troops.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Imagine going over the trenches, and your captain kind of does a Lisa needs braces or. Trying to think.
You say that like generally based on the last century, after the pandemic, there's a war.
Mm.
And if it's non-nuclear, people are going to be like going over the trenches screaming Leroy Jenkins and stuff like that. Like,
if my captain went Aurora Borealis, I think I'd be cool with that.
You'd be happy to die for that, man.
Yeah.
I'd run into the Huns machine
I'd be
gun
like,
fire.
you get me.
You get me. I thought I always had it in for the officer class based on the historic situation, but you know Simpsons quotes. So I do like the Vincent Price kind of extended cameo. He plays what is it, Mr. Loudermilk.
Arthur B. Loudermilk.
Arthur B. Loudermilk, and they make a point of saying Vincent Price as Arthur B. Loudermilk, as if you're kind of like, oh, what really is Arthur B. Loudermilk? Amazing. As if that had changed. I think we got everybody back. We've got a nice split between Twitch and YouTube.
Thanks, everyone. You're stuck with it.
Floyd Dillon says, I don't care what you say, I'm going to clown school, which feels very appropriate. This feels like clown school tonight, so it's very good. Right, so I think we started off on a spiel about Dead Heat, that we got lost to the, went to the birds or whatever, I suppose.
Went to the birds.
Yeah.
Check out guys with their Frankenstein type masks.
I'll give you Frankenstein. Also, this scene has the weird, because you were talking earlier about the kind of camera choices and stuff in this scene. Yeah. It has the strange perspective stuff at the very top of the scene with the two guys in the car, which I find quite odd.
Yeah, I'd say... Yeah, I think this is a great action scene, but yeah, it seems to have every single camera angle coming up. It's just like, what, where, what, where?
Yes. Well, it's an odd one, like, because Mark Goldblatt, he didn't direct much, but like I say, he's a fucking legendary editor. Like, he edited so much stuff, and Second Unit as well. So, like, talk to me about the stuff he did on RoboCop. It's like the petrol station scene he was talking about, and it's like the stuff of like Emil skidding in the bike across the floor. Those are pickups by Goldblatt. So, like, the first unit did loads of the kind of major dialogue stuff, and then they went, as is often the case with Second Unit, but like loads of really important inserts and stuff were all done by him. And clearly he understands the flow of movies and stuff. Like, he's this really, really storied kind of Hollywood guy.
And I like, this very much looks like it was shot in Beverly Hills, when they get outside.
Yes.
It looks like the proper kind of...
They synchronise the guns in their pants, which is great. Yeah, very much so. The best I could find was that it was shot in Southern California, which isn't much use, because that could be any number of places, I suppose. But yeah, they definitely get that. They get that feel.
I love how it's classic buddy cop. I'm buttoned up. Oh, I'm a crazy rock and roll loudmouth.
We've both got mullets, but mine's a business mullet. Also, I always think that Treat Williams, or at least young era Treat Williams, it's a little like Alf, the extraterrestrial. I've always felt like that. But, yeah, right, he's got real Alf vibes.
It's got the brows.
Yeah. I mean, it's just those big Ken Shiro, Paul McCartney eyebrows that really sell it. But yeah, They already had the bad guy's car, and that has the strange kind of perspective stuff. But in the good guy's car, they don't do that. It's more conventional. It's
nice and chill.
Yeah.
I don't think they do any food stuff, which I always view as a classic kind of buddy cop thing.
Well, he's eating the big baguette in the car.
Oh, but I mean, like, there's usually like, I'm eating a fried chicken sub covered in cheese, and the other one's going, don't you realise you're going to die of a mountain? Stomach ulcer, boop-de-boop.
Turner and Hooch does that even. Like with the buddy cop thing. Also, something that I know, so basically Treat Williams... Look,
so they're pointing that way, they're looking that way.
There's Picardo, by the way. Yeah, sure. The kind of...
Picardo with the tash. What? Picardo with the tash looks fantastic.
Yeah. Well, there's a strange thing so Treat Williams is dressed exactly as Dirty Harry. Right, it's the exact same thing. It's like, it's not a matching, it's like dark trousers, sort of tweedy jacket. I think Dirty Harry's got elbow patches and stuff, but like then the kind of dark thin tie. And the other place where I've really noticed that, and I noticed this a while ago and I just can't unsee it, is like Dirty Harry, the original Dirty Harry look is exactly the same as Mr. Bean's. Like Mr. Bean wears that outfit as well, so like
the English Dirty Harry.
Well, very much, yeah. People talk about, Gran Torino came out about the same time as Harry Brown and stuff, but really it's all about Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
So that's
in a lot of ways Gran Torino was a remake of Bean the movie.
It was, yeah. Directed by Mel Smith as well. No.
Was it Mel Smith who did Bean the movie?
The first Bean movie, yeah.
Jeez,
The second
to think
one,
he did The Man Who Knew Too Little, one of the best British comedy films.
well, because he did. Did you remember The Tall Guy, where Jeff Goldblum? That's one that got loads of playback in the day, but you don't really see anymore. Like Jeff Goldblum plays an American actor who comes to England to play in the Elephant Man musical. Remember that? And there's the one with Paul Kay, the Crown Green Bowls movie.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Black Ball.
Black Ball, yeah.
I
yeah,
haven't seen that.
Odd career, Mel Smith. I thought also it was quite nice. They went and did the big Hollywood version of Mr. Bean, and then Mel Smith directed it. Because, he was an experienced movie director and is someone who, not the 9 o'clock news and stuff, so him and Ron Atkinson go way back and everything.
No, true indeed.
Mel Smith's one of those people that I sadly forget is dead. So my brain doesn't really want to accept that. Benny Legend asked where we are with the film. We're at 6 minutes 20 with a bit of latency, so if that helps you catch up. There you go. Adrian Mendoza is here. Yeah, Morons from Outer Space was Mel Smith as well, points out Floyd Dillon very correctly. Eric Granlund says the hologram from Voyager. Indeed, the great Robert Picardo.
I was thinking Mel Smith for a second. I was like, is he in Voyager?
I mean, that would be an interesting take, yeah. I'd quite like to see. I can't wait for Picard Season 2 to ruin the Doctor. But, I'd like to see Robert Picardo get work, so that's fine. So I love that. That gag is fucking awesome. Like, because the cutaway,
looks great.
Yeah.
Looks really, really good.
Great edit as well. I mean, I don't know what, the input...
Miranda writes shit. That's such a classic buddy cop.
Yeah, well, this is I love that his name's Roger Mortis, but they horribly overdo it and break the rules and stuff. Oh no, Treat Williams isn't wearing Dirty Harry trousers. I apologise. No. But yeah, they're basically like, you shouldn't be cops. This is awful. But it's like, they got the job done. See, angry black police chief guy.
Yeah.
Because that's what I like. He knows what the cliches are and does them all. Because this is all sort of dealt with quite quickly. All the kind of buddy cop cliches are sort of done in the first 5 minutes, and it turns into weird sci-fi horror thing.
Yeah, no, takes a big left turn. Because if you just sat down and started watching this, you'd think, they're gonna, there'll be some sort of cocaine smuggling ring, blah blah blah. And it's like, no, it goes a lot weirder.
Yes. Oddly enough, so I was talking earlier on the other stream that you can't watch anymore, that I first saw this on Netflix when Netflix was kind of new in Britain. And you see that shot there of the two of them? That was the thumbnail. So the chances of us therefore discovering it as a kind of it was reading the synopsis where it was kind of like, oh, neat. But the thumbnail was the two of them stood there. It's like, at least use them zombied up or something. I mean,
Netflix thumbnails is some of the weirdest alchemy. They'll have... The thumbnail will be a character who's in it for 5 minutes. And it's like, what? Why have you picked this? This, mix me up.
Yeah, it's it's like either a robot or an intern or a robot intern that does the kind of... So, I don't know. Netflix is odd.
Could you get a...
Oh, sorry. What would you like, darling? The lemon cider is very nice.
Some sort of Valentine beer mix.
If you do like a beer mix. Well, you should mix up your flavours. Alright, what have you had already?
Cola lime. Cheers.
Okay. One of my friends works at Netflix, and I saw him. I caught up with him when I was abroad last year. A guy I used to share in a hall with at uni, actually. And I won't name him because he probably doesn't want me talking about his work and stuff. I don't get him in trouble. But he just said Netflix was fucking weird because where they were working, there's this big fucking office. Look at Piscopo's arms, man. We were ragging him earlier.
Tense.
Yeah.
They're like,
but it's like triceps are way bigger than the rest of his arms. He's got that kind of weird,
great shape.
But he was saying Netflix, at least the one in LA, was just this huge big office where everyone works on a different floor and there's no interaction between the levels, and it's all sort of, you sit and get your work from emails and stuff, and it just feels like there's that robot sat somewhere. It's like that episode of The Twilight Zone with James Coburn when it turns out it's just a big reel-to-reel tape computer giving everyone their orders. Which I imagine is just Netflix brain. It's just a big reel-to-reel tape computer. Let your friend know I hate him for cancelling the OA. He was personally responsible for that. He said to me, he's Scottish, he goes, Mike Kingston? And I was like, yeah. He goes, I cancelled the OA because of him, the can. And I said, don't call Mike that. What are you doing? And I said, also bring back the OA. And he goes no, I won't. And you can't stop me. So,
well, they have a special Mike. Guillotine. They have to put the show in, don't they?
Yeah, what they do is they put the shows into kind of a flesh avatar that can experience fear and pain, and then
It's
they
like
take
a
it out
spammy tube.
with the face,
Yeah.
with the human face, and then they just take it through to the machine and execute it, whilst other shows watch to let them fucking know.
Yep.
Those shows need to know what time it is.
See this, Ozark? This could be you.
So I'm so sorry about what my friend did to fans of the OA. Richard, does this guy, does his first name happen to be Eddie? I'm afraid not. No, he's not called Eddie.
Eddie Brock?
Eddie Brock, yes. He inexplicably lives in San Francisco and has never met Spider-Man.
So here's the reveal.
Dun dun dun.
Your dead robbers are already dead.
Dun dun dun.
They should have called it Double Dead.
Double dead. Don't be double dead, cops. With a apostrophe. Was it? I think. Oh God, because I obviously did a bit of research and stuff for this, and
I really think he looks like Robert Mitchum's cousin.
I can't remember that guy. He's a really storied actor. That guy. I forget his name at the moment. Eddie Breen. I just had to sign up to Twitch. Oh, Doug, thank you, man. Yeah, just to be clear, you don't have to have an account, but if you do sign up to Twitch, that's lovely. Because we will be back. We've really dragged our feet on gaming streams, haven't we, recently? I think I've just been too busy. I haven't been around any of the weekends, because that's normally when we do. Because you work in the week normally, but now I'm working in the weekend as well, so that sucks. Yeah, so I've lost my complete train of thought here.
This guy.
Oh yeah, this guy. No, it's on the trivia. One country in Asia, and I can't remember which one. It was one country. It was called Iron Cops. It's why? That's almost as bad as the Netflix thumbnail of just two caps.
Well, Dead Heat, I very much think, if I saw a VHS copy of Dead Heat in Ritz videos back in the day,
man,
I would think it was about two cops in a race for time to capture the drug lord. It's
because Dead Heat is a good name for a zombie cop movie, but only if you know, because it's also quite generic. So it sounds like this is in the era of Lethal Weapon and 48 Hours, right? So it just sounds like yet another Lethal Weapon / 48 Hours type scenario. Do you believe that fish can swim? It's also I think somewhere I remember looking for a while. Looking a while back for a Blu-ray. I think there was a Blu-ray somewhere, but I've only ever seen this film in trash quality. I think the one that was on Netflix and this one is a really lousy transfer. I mean, it's a film that gets by mostly. It's got really amazing effects when the effects start, but I think it gets through mostly on personality.
Yeah,
it's charm, isn't it? It's sort of just got this great charm because it's not a particularly. I'm not using this against. It's not particularly interesting visually. It doesn't do any insane visual tricks or kind of cinematography and stuff. It's mostly about kind of okay, we've got this nut story. I mean, because the Dante building's cool, which I think that looks way like the school from Bill and Ted, Bogus Journey, which I did look up, and it is somewhere in California. It's a water treatment plant or something somewhere.
Okay.
Which has been used in a few different movies. Oh yeah, the guy reading Penthouse.
Yeah, surly reception staff.
This guy does great stink eye because when they go into the lab. He's just sort of yeah, you're really, really lousy at your job, man. But he's probably like a porn zombie, I guess. Sorry to interrupt your erection.
Porn zombie. He's having none of it.
Yeah.
It's because he hasn't got mullet. He's
yeah.
party all around.
But because he looks a bit like Nick Cave, doesn't he?
Sorry, he does. I should say party all the time. Like that song.
By Eddie Murphy, Joe Piscopo's mate.
Oh, yeah.
So weird. That's a good song as well, but Eddie Murphy released a really quite good song and then just never did any more music ever again. It's just an odd kind of... It's quite a depressing song as well.
If he came back to do a rap for an original soundtrack to a Will Smith movie...
What? Wait, Eddie Murphy?
If Eddie Murphy came back to do the Gemini Man rap.
See, Gemini Man being what it is, you're surprised it's not got Eddie Murphy in it. It's the Jean-Claude Van Damme premise, sort of gentrified.
And it's such a shame we lost the Will Smith movie tie-in song. That was a great time. A lot of bad films, but great songs.
See, that's it. People like to get on Dennis Waterman's case for write the theme tune, sing the theme tune. Owing to Little Britain, but really, it was all about Will Smith for a while there. Even though I hate that, you can't listen to "I Wish" by Stevie Wonder without people going like, "It's a Wild Wild West song." It's just like, oh, "I Wish" is such a banger, and Will Smith ruined it.
No, definitely. That's a tough one. But then, like a lot of stuff in the late 90s, early 2000s, Stevie Wonder was on board. And it's like, because he's in the video going tippy-tapper, which is what piano sounds like.
That's how piano goes.
Yeah.
That was it. Well, you're getting on the Will Smith gravy train, but at the absolute wrong time. Because,
I think Stevie Wonder might have done a song with, like, Blue or Westlife
he
or something.
did do a song with Blue, I think.
It's just like, what are you doing there?
Yeah, well, the thing is, though, Stevie's one of those people who just does what he wants and it doesn't cause him any harm.
Yeah,
Like he said, it just doesn't affect his career, does it?
Teflon Stevie.
Teflon Stevie. See, this is where they kill the animals they experiment on.
No, that's the first Beats by Dre.
That
was
was
a
it?
prototype. Walk into a room and listen to The Chronic.
You can wirelessly connect your smartphone by Bluetooth. Your what? No, those haven't been invented yet, but Dr. Dre insisted that we make this room. That's really horrible. It's just like, this is the room that sucks the air out so we can kill animals, because that's the humane way to do it.
Yeah, it's in the world of humane ways to kill creatures. It does seem a bit weird.
What they did not do is look at it. They didn't test it on any Treat Williamses first, because you shouldn't be able to just kill a Treat Williams stone dead. But,
well, I guess
they did.
It's better than they upgraded from the room where they just pour hot coals. Well, we have a chute that drops hot coals onto the animal.
Of course, the original method was a boot that kicked the animal to death. Oh, don't do it, Bigelow, you mad renegade. What are you going to do?
Damn.
Because their whole kind of... this is a... See, I'll let DeadHeat have it, 'cause it's about zombie cops, but, like, I think Duncan and I talked about this. Like, every film ever where the Star Wars does it, but they make a joke out of it in Return of the Jedi. But where, like, the hyper-complex room can be opened just by shooting the lock? Like, if you can just destroy a lock, it's not doing its job. If you just shoot the keypad. Like...
Yeah, you really have to go out of your way, because usually locks are designed that when they break, they stay locked.
Yes.
You really have to go out of your way to be like, oh, well, I've worked hard, and if you destroy the lock, it opens.
In any emergency, any random cunt can just shoot it with a gun, and you can just go inside. See, this is the cool biker zombie. He's got like a multi-face, is the only way to describe it.
I used to know the term for it. It's because it's to do with kind of prepartum development.
Oh,
so
yeah, sure.
Yeah, your face kind of opens up, and it can either open up not enough or too much. So that's where you get like two-headed cows and stuff like that. But yeah, it's brilliant. It doesn't make any sense in the story because...
Yeah, because presumably it's relating to his cause of death.
Yeah.
I know it's quite... Because I know Tom Savini was one for... Because Savini was in Vietnam and stuff as a war photographer, and he's like looked at autopsy photos, and obviously he took nasty photos in Vietnam and stuff. But like special effects people looking at medical journals and stuff for inspiration. So it's kind of like, okay, here's your two-faced biker zombie guy. He was like a huge dude as well. We'll also get Professor Tanaka.
Yes.
Sub-Zero from he was a real... I think he was from Honduras, I think, but his wrestling kind of kayfabe thing was being Japanese. So he was Sub-Zero in Running Man, and he's in one or two different things. And he turns up in the Chinese butchers later on.
Looking badass.
Does Treat Williams have a look of Sir Duncan Casey? He does look a bit like Duncan, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He's like
he's the brooding brows.
I don't know if Philip's here this week, but I've not met Philip. I don't think he's Treat Williams in like the witness protection program.
Wow.
Is that it, Philip? Are you Treat Williams in the witness protection program? Yeah, he's got a bit of the Duncans to him. So again, Duncan meets Alpha the Extraterrestrial. This is a thoroughly awful way to die as well.
He's going to listen to the Chronic until he dies. That's terrible.
We test the drugs on the animals, then we make them listen to 2001 and the Chronic. Look, oh no, there's Dre. Don't do it, Dre.
He's going to hear a bit of Eminem. Nowadays.
Motherfuckers forgot about Dre. Some would say Duncan is a tree. Oi, oi. I've recently discovered I have access to Pluto TV in my TV package, says Doug Wanacott. Every time I look there, their Action Movies channel, it says showing The Substitute 3 Winner Takes All starring Treat Williams. It's a Treat Williams streaming service. They show Deep Rising, this, and The Substitute 3 starring Treat Williams.
Brilliant. Pluto, that rings a bell.
Okay, Sam's in. The split between your mouth and your nose is because that's the last part of your face that comes together as you're developing in the womb. That's where the cleft palates come from. Maybe that biker was a baby.
Baby biker.
He was a baby, so
Big
maybe.
baby biker.
Big baby
Triple
biker.
B.
Triple B. Big baby biker alliteration. Here comes Nick Cave. My friend Kirsty, whom you know, recently accosted Nick Cave whilst he was sat on his balcony enjoying his afternoon.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she just saw him. She loves Nick Cave. She was kind of like, "Hi, Nick," and just waved at him, and he sort of waved back. He was like reading his Sunday paper, and Kirsty just gave him a holler.
I'm happy he waved back rather than was kind of surly, like Nick Cave is.
As you would expect, yeah. Oh, Kirsty's so funny, man, because she's just one of those super smiley, happy people. So I can imagine her just absolutely being like, "It's Nick Cave." No one ever talks to him about this. You know, that's one of the best things you did.
Look at cops, so young these days.
They get younger and younger. This is the kind of thing we were talking about this the other day, because like if someone fluffs their line here, every one of those actors has to go back on their action. You have to reset the whole thing. It just seems like such a fucking ball ache. He does quite a good sort of shell-shocked, my friend is dead vibe, doesn't he? Oh, Piscapo.
That's a great line. Died the way dogs are supposed to die.
Supposed to die, yes. Oh, my dog's ill, better take it to the decompression chamber. Oh, what happened? I just went to a You know how cats crawl under houses and stuff? Dogs just go to the nearest decompression chamber.
They just got too much pressure.
Of course, these days they can just go to Argos and buy Beats by Dre and end their lives that way. So a lot of people choose to euthanise their dogs with Beats by Dre.
And then put it on TikTok.
So they decompress themselves and their owner does that dance in the background.
Hashtag Dead Dog Day.
Adrian's asking if I've seen the Watchmen series. Ivan and I have talked about it a lot, but it doesn't appear, because we don't have Sky. So we have Now TV, which is a type of Sky, but there doesn't appear to be any way for us to watch it.
I think, I think it just hasn't. Sky haven't broadcast it yet, I believe. But I think in the next few months, the hope is they will.
Right.
But hopefully Lovecraft Country they are showing, which I'm going to check out.
Yes, we talked about that, yeah. I was too knackered to watch that yesterday.
Then The Boys is going to be on in like a fortnight.
Oh, yeah.
So it's all kind of
It's
chugging in.
a year since that came out.
Yeah. New Harry Hill show for British viewers on BBC on Sunday. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, we love a bit of Harry in this house. This also, by the way, is one of those computers where you just type in the thing that happened and the computer fixes it.
Well, it's really irresponsible. They're bringing their friend back to life, just out of nowhere, and they're like, "What's the worst that can happen? We've never heard of this technology until an hour ago."
Yeah, but I'm sad, so fix it. Yeah, but that's what I like about this film, because it's also silly and it's done with silly dialogue, so you just kind of let it happen, right?
Oh, yeah. No, yeah.
But yeah, I wouldn't put my friend in the life bringing back machine. That sounds fucking horrible.
It's like they've never watched, Twilight Zone.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, and Vincent Price is around, so you need to speak to him. He knows all about this kind of shit. Pisco was in an episode, because we were talking about Star Trek earlier, as we always inevitably do, I suppose. And Pisco's in an episode of... Do you remember the episode of TNG? I can't remember. I think it's the B plot. In fact, what I'm about to describe to you will tell you is very much the B plot. Data is trying to learn about humour, trying to be funny. So Guinan takes him to this holodeck, and she spawns as a stand-up comedian, and Piscopo comes out in a tux. And Piscopo, and then I think Data starts doing kind of a Groucho thing. I'm pretty certain he spawns himself a cigar and starts going like, meh, whatever. It's kind of quite odd, because quite a lot of it's not often people get to turn up in famous people in Star Trek TNG playing like 20th century humans.
So
it's
usually
normally like
they play Vortas or trying to think. Can't remember what Tom Morello plays.
We got Iggy Pop. We got Jeffrey Combs.
Oh yeah.
Jason Alexander played in Voyager as kind of like, you know, the trope of kind of galactic collector guy.
Okay.
But Alexander's like a huge Trek fan, so he's got like a, you know, a vulva on his face or whatever is a standard for Trek makeup type stuff. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I mean, this is all a venue to do the decaying makeup stuff. So they do a good job of like it's quite subtle actually, because they start off just by sort of darkening his eyes, and by the end he's like
he starts to get translucent skin, and then he kind of becomes kind of punk zombie near the end.
Bicolor Prawn says the outrageous Okana, one of the worst episodes of TNG ever. Right, Bicolor Prawn, can you remind me what the A plot was of that? Because all I remember is Piscopo, and I'm just sort of like, and Data's bad comedy.
Well, when you're saying that, I was thinking Guinan to teach Data about comedy. That seems... Well... But then it made me think, which character in TNG has the best sense of humour? I guess I'd maybe think Riker, yeah?
I was just thinking about, like, because I love TNG and I love its whole vibe, and I love that it is, like, everyone's a dork. Like, you know, the coolest guy in TNG is Riker, who plays the trumpet. You know what I mean? And, like, the captain is an archaeologist that just loves tea and books. Yeah. It's great. That's why it's
he's
vibe
super
works.
Cool.
Yeah,
but
right?
I'm not sure about having a laugh in a pub with him, you know?
Yeah, the jokes in TNG are very Scooby-Doo jokes. They're kind of like, you might say, blah, 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 and they'll go, ha, 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 and it kind of wraps up. Like,
and, like, I think... You know, excluding DS9, I think you could imagine O'Brien maybe having a sense of humour. But it would be in the sense that, like, you meet your, you know, second cousin's uncle and find out he was a roadie for AC/DC. And you're like, wow, I never knew, you know, just this massive reveal. Because O'Brien, in no way, you can imagine... Yeah, maybe kind of behind the scenes, he's suddenly cracking large.
All about his darts. DAERTS, darts. Yeah, it's that kind of, I mean, the more modern Trek. Well, now there's a Trek comedy animated show, you know.
Yeah, which is really... still to see.
Original Trek had that very Scooby-Doo. They'd always do those wrap-ups of like, when, you know, loads of awful stuff would happen or whatever.
Bit of sweet business.
Yeah. I didn't get back on Bicolor Prawn with the skinny. I missed it, I think. Sam said this is a remake of the remake of Randall and Hopkirk Deceased, which is not far off. Yeah, not far off.
It's like a sexy Randall and Hopkirk Deceased.
See, this falls into that world of like people are sort of like, you know, remake the things that weren't successful. And I think I said recently like Class of 1999, totally fine with that. What would annoy me about this being remade is I don't think this had its day. And it seems unfair because people tend to forget the original one.
And I just think I don't really, because it definitely wasn't proper successful or anything. But it's like, well, what is there to do better? You know, I wouldn't say it kind of achieve. You know, I'd say it doesn't try to overachieve, and it really hits the mark. So it's like, well, then, what is there to kind of elevate a remake of this? And
we need to have a fucking good reason, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not going to go like it's perfect, but like it's, you know, I just sort of think.
But it does what it does, and you know, in the same way, like we both love Gremlins 2, but Gremlins 2 isn't Citizen Kane, but on its own terms, it's perfect.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what's the point in doing anything else to it?
Just want DeadHeat awareness. There have been some people in the chat just kind of going like, this fucking sucks. Yeah, that's probably why the numbers are low. That and the failed stream earlier are probably why the numbers are low. But
well, you know, we've only just got someone turned into a zombie.
Yes.
You have to wait and see.
Yes. So this is like I said earlier, so I mean it really is like bang on the start of the third act. He becomes a zombie. Like and then we're into it. So it's still all the kind of buddy cop stuff. But see now you see he's looking quite pale. And he's got a bit of dark under his eyes. The colour's gone out of his lips and stuff. There you go. They kind of emphasised that there.
It's a man's worst nightmare.
Oh yeah, don't they have to put? He has to put lipstick on, right?
Yeah.
That's it. Has to go get made up.
It's what every man, you know. It's what we all fear. We're going for the big job interview, then we look at our lips, and oh my god.
Bicolor Prawn has just told me. and it's all clicked back into place.
Oh yeah.
The Data Does Comedy episode of Star Trek is the one where I can't remember the guy's name. It's in the title. It's like the amazing Ogada Booba. Basically, they pick up. Well, I'll let Bicolor Prawn explain. They pick up a supposedly dashing rogue type who is on the run from some aliens. And they make a big deal about how edgy he is, but he's not. It's very forgettable. Yeah, they do a kind of like really weak sauce Han Solo. It's like, I'm cool Han Solo guy, but it's through the lens of like 90s Star Trek, so he's still really lame, and it just kind of sucks. Yeah, I done forgot they did their own. He looks like, because you know all those fucking like Dash Rendar from the Shadows of the Empire and like Kyle Katarn and stuff from Star Wars just kept trying to do. Like Kyle Katarn's kind of cool in the game because he has like a bit of an arc, but trying to do Han Solo again. It's like, I'm a dashing bounty hunter, smuggler, outlaw again. It's like, okay.
They can never get enough.
Yeah. So does she pretty much like wipe out in this city? It's later in the movie, isn't it, when she like dies? So it's a real fucking thing to watch out for because the effect sequence is amazing.
Yeah. No, that's later on indeed. That's the thing, because earlier on I was thinking, I was trying to think, there's a lot of death in this film.
Yeah, it's like basically everybody dies, more or less. Like, not exactly, but...
Takes no prisoners.
Yeah, it's pretty fucking morbid in that regard. But I think like it's quite rare. There aren't many films where it's shown to be kind of fun to be a zombie. And this does the kind of, hey, it's kind of fun, because like at the end, but they're both zombies and they're going to horribly melt. They're just kind of like, I wonder what heaven's like. And he makes like some joke about coming back as a girl's bicycle seat, because he's a skeezy cunt. Like his whole arc is skeezy cunt. Arthur P. Loudermilk.
Princess, this may be the last time that I ever talk to you.
Ivan does Vincent Price at home a lot, which I have no problem with.
It's one of my few fun pastimes. I love these two, such great melty-face zombie boys.
And I love they just tear through the fucking patio doors. It's great. There's lots of Mortis takes a few bullets. It's great. There's very much that he was a very blinky shooter. Because that's what they would say about Clint Eastwood, isn't it? Is the no blinking, but very blinky shooter.
How do you tell when Clint blinks?
Yeah, right. Because he's sort of. I love that. There's that. I use that Gran Torino gif all the time of him just going like this. It's so good. It kind of goes back to our sort of TikTok. So like, it's not often you see, because you're so used to people taking squib hits and going over. But this is a movie where you see people just soaking up the squibs, and Mortis is like shrugging them off. It's neat. Yeah, look at these grotty boys. Bit of handheld there.
They're doing some great mugging.
It's great, isn't it? It's got that real sort of 1930s vibe to it. They're just doing, but it's cops and robbers and zombies, which is a fucking wicked combination. Oh shit! I think we're missing super chats and stuff. I'm very sorry, Adrian. Thank you. I'm just going to have a quick flick through the super chats because we need to acknowledge those.
Definitely.
Adrian, thanks for making my lunch break more enjoyable, guys. No worries, Adrian. It's good to see you, man. I'm just going to scroll back through see if we missed any super chats. I'm also, if you're right, entertaining, darling, I'm just going to have a quick look in PayPal as well, see if anyone's
you do that.
dropped anything in the page, pal.
So I think we're coming up to a massive balls punch on the zombie. Which is where Piscopo realises that zombies' balls are invincible.
Which then empowers him to...
there he goes, big haymakers to the balls. Getting no action.
In terms of big arms, I wouldn't want to be punched by those arms. Kevin James gave £5 in the PayPal. Thank you very much.
Kevin James?
Yeah, we've been enjoying your YouTube series, Kevin.
Yeah.
Thank you for King of Queens. I'm sure,
King of Queens is awesome.
I think Kevin James gets that all the time. I think Kevin James is sick of hearing people say that.
Apologies.
It's like people going like, "Your name's Jackson," like Michael Jackson. It's like I've never heard of that man. I don't know what you're talking about. I know what you mean. Oh, someone else asking where we are in the movie. We are at 35 minutes or so. Just quick check of the chat there. Quick check of the chat. Oh, hold on. Doug Wanacott. Someone mentioned earlier that Williams has a passing resemblance to Duncan. Treat Williams' real name is Richard Williams, so he's a must for Valverde the movie. I'd love to bring out 70-year-old Treat Williams to play Duncan. That'd be great. I'd be played by Richard O'Brien.
Richard O'Brien with a big bushy beard.
Big bushy beard. Oh, that's Zombie Thugs Got Nards, says Floyd. Floyd, is that a reference to Redneck Zombies, isn't it? The Troma film. Is that Nards, Redneck Zombies? Or am I getting my zombie lore mixed up?
Sounds
That's an appropriate deep cut if you know. Princess. It's super late era price, because I think wasn't Edward Scissorhands the last thing he did?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
The year after this, was it 1990? Unsure. I'm unsure.
That's Arthur Loudermilk. Everyone knows Arthur Loudermilk. Loudermilk, such a great name.
Arthur P. Loudermilk.
Arthur P.
Oh, Monster Squad is Nards.
Monster.
I went too deep. Well, here you go. There's your reference between Terry Black and Shane Black and Fred Decker. He did Monster Squad. Fred Decker's just had. Oh man, I really feel for Fred Decker. I mean, because like he barely did anything after RoboCop 3, and then the kind of he got given
Lost
this
the double decker fortune.
Exactly, yeah, from the buses and the chocolate. And now he co-wrote The Predator. He's never coming back from that. Yeah, I mean, he's like never. I've read interviews with him about RoboCop 3, and it just completely traumatized him. Like, he seems like he had a fucking.
With Shane Black, Black and Decker.
Yeah, well, that was their partnership. That's what they call themselves. Yeah,
nice.
And Shane Black. That's why Shane Black is in RoboCop 3. But Terry Black wrote the Red Steel games for Nintendo Wii. Terry Black being the writer of this film. He wrote this with someone else, but only Terry Black is credited, and I don't know why that is.
Interesting.
But yeah, Red Steel was like one of the first-person shooters on Wii, and it's kind of like, wouldn't it be amazing to control a first-person shooter like this? And the answer is no. But there's two of those. I think you had a sword or something. But I looked. His credits are. It's safe to say his credits are non-extensive. You know. I'm gonna test fate by going back to the YouTube window. Okay, it's fine. Bit of a weird delay between Twitch and YouTube. Yeah, that was odd. It seemed to be a YouTube side problem. It just said streaming is not working. It's like, oh, thanks YouTube. It's really good. We only do this once a week. Fuck you. Oh yeah, Steve Allen points out Fred Decker did work on season 1 of Star Trek Enterprise, which is not a good look.
Interesting.
Not a good look. I think it's
okay. Here we get the zombie hair loss comb. He's also using someone's comb in their house.
Yeah, well, you shouldn't have used a zombie hair loss comb.
And it's like, don't use someone else's comb. That's not cool.
I use your comb all the time. I use it so much my hair fell out. Every day when you left for work.
It's, it seems mighty unfair. And look, he leaves hair on it. Just
I'm a zombie. He looks Maximum Duncan there.
That was the etiquette zombie. Going, don't leave your zombie hair on someone else's brush.
Don't use other people's combs.
The etiquette zombie.
That bloody etiquette zombie, man. Oh, Adrian Mendoza's got to go back to work. See you later, Mendoza.
Oh, latest Mendoza.
Good to see you, man. Oh, yeah, he gets his high-waisty slacks, doesn't he? I love that. See, this is like... This film's a gift to action figure lines for fans of Roger Mortis, because there's Mortis, there's Battle Damage Mortis, there's kind of like Jimmy Buffett Mortis, and then there's Action Zombie Mortis at the end. And
you could also have the rotating torso bit, so it shows the gunshots.
Oh yeah,
there he is.
There you go. There's Tenoru Tanaka. So he died in like 2000. Man, I think he's just one of those big guys that.
He looks so mean in this film.
Yeah.
He looks proper. I would not mess with that man.
Now playing Zero. I'm a zombie cop. Here's my zombie cop badge. So yeah, this is very reminiscent of Return of the Living Dead when when it all kicks. Not my badge. When it all kicks off.
Gonna have to staple that together.
Put it in the machine and it will come back to life or something. Because for this scene to happen, they have to have the contrivance that they've got a whole room made of the machine.
Yeah,
But then the guy who owns it is one of the guys from the committee of bad guys, isn't he?
But it seems like a really weird kind of burglar alarm, doesn't it?
I'll turn
Like,
you into a zombie.
If things go bad, I'll just turn everything into a zombie and run away.
Oh, I do have lots of dead shit, so this is absolutely. So I can't remember. Like, do you have to keep using the machine to stay alive? Because the people who are in the committee, they've cracked it, haven't they? And they have to keep re-upping or something.
Yeah, I think there's like a secondary process. So it's like, we're experimenting with the schmoes. But now for you cool cats, we got Chemical B.
Chemical B. Doug Wanacott pointed out that Toru Tanaka made it to his 60s, which in wrestling years is about 95. Which
Yes,
is,
very much, especially back in those days.
So you wouldn't want to just be the head there, would you?
No.
I'll tell you what's a good... do you remember... We did watch this together. There's another... It's not buddy cop, but it's a good buddy zombie movie. The Revenant. It's one that I've got it still. We watched it around Tom's. Tom Kelly recommended it. It's about those two... It's about the guy who comes back from Afghanistan and they've used like a zombie thing on him. Or he got bit by a vampire or something, and then they go around robbing banks and being they go around being vigilantes and stuff. And it's called The Revenant before The Revenant came out, and it was a really fun. That's a kind of like being a zombie's fun movie, and it was a really fun, cool buddy film. And it shares quite a lot with this. Actually, that's great because that's like a liver or something, isn't it? Like...
Just a liver on his face, and so that pig looks like it has false teeth.
Yes,
it just looks like it has human false teeth. But I love all the effects here are just brilliant.
Yeah, and it's a great gag sequence because it's just a great because it feels a little bit like the miniature Ash sequence from Army of Darkness, but then it's a bit like kind of Gremlins or Ghoulies because you've got all the little chickens and stuff. From now on, I'm vegetarian.
And it is comic, but this scene, if I saw it as a kid, would mess me up. This would be, all the eye gouging and kind of head cutting off passed me by. Seeing a pig come back to life, I'd be like,
Yeah, this is he does make the joke about being vegetarian because it is like, the sort of the idea of things that have been. Oh yes, this is mad.
This, I'm sure.
It does the fucking thing.
Yeah. I'm sure this is when someone realised what their kink was. Because it's coming up. There was some awkward teenage boy.
It's a duck in a bowl of duck sauce. It's great.
Some awkward teenage boy, and he's like, that's what I want.
I want to go inside an
I want to be
animated cow.
encased by a cow carcass.
So horrible.
And
Put some meat hook in it.
And the thing is, it's a carcass. It probably could do that. Most of the body weight's gone. Missing all those organs.
I'm pretty sure the liver's kind of turned on some wrong ones as well.
Smothered by liver.
It's one of the most grotesque things I've ever heard. Oh, no, I've done it now. I'm going to say it. There's someone I used to know he was from, and this is how I'm going to couch this. He was from like Wrongan fucking West Country. And, okay, oh God. Right, this is just something I overheard at an old job. The discussion seemed to be that I walked in on that someone's partner had an exceptionally large vagina. That was the discussion, okay? And the guy I knew far too quickly made a remark about packing the sides with liver. And it was just like, where the fuck did that come from? Like, what the fuck are you on about?
It's a weird one.
He was a wrong'un. He was like he used to be a cleaner in a fetish club when he was 16.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
and he said like he'd be just sort of like mopping up, and there'd be people sucking each other off and stuff. He was in a band and stuff. He's an absolute wrong'un. But just I was like, where did that come from? That's one of the most horrible things I've ever heard in my life.
I think cleaning up in a fetish club as a 16-year-old is
everything about him. Just like, dude, wow. So there you go. That's what that scene made me think of. So there you go. See, this is all massively Zombie duck heads, what a concept. So you could replace the whoopee cushion. There are loads of great little thrown away.
There's tons of comic lines.
Because I wouldn't necessarily say it was Shane Black type humour. You know what I mean? It's its own thing, but it is a little bit like that.
I think in places it's kind of there's a lot of kind of dad jokes.
Yes. Oh god. Oh, Bigelow's whole, like Piscopo's whole thing is dad jokes. Like that's his whole character. Doug Wanacott, I've heard that liver thing somewhere before. Maybe it's in a stand-up routine. See, that's the thing. It feels like something people somewhere say, and even more worryingly may have done.
Maybe it's
like,
yeah.
Well, in the age of the internet. Steve Allen, nobody had anything good to say about... Oh no, Mr. HEC, nobody has anything good to say about Star Trek Picard. What were they thinking? Yeah, it's absolutely awful. It's just deeply awful, but we talked about that, didn't we?
Okay, I'm not sure.
Are you reading
about
Steve
that
Allen?
one. Yes.
Read it. Steve, we're going to read your comment. Go on.
Okay. My mate saw Clive Barker in a BDSM place in London back in the 80s, though he was on a lot of drugs at the time, so take it with a pinch of salt. Fair dues.
Good for Clive Barker.
I thought I saw Leonard Cohen standing behind me in a folk festival.
Oh, is that not true then? I thought that was true.
I don't know.
I mean, it's true, but it's whether or not it was...
It's one of these weird fever dreams where it's like it was seeing, I think, Shirley Collins, who he was friends with. But it's just this weird small man in a big hat, and it's like, is that? Yeah, no. That has a bit of a festival fever dream to it.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Ross comes in. Are we still doing Breen jokes? You can if you like, man. That's absolutely fine. William G. Lawson, sorry, I'm not very good eyesight. Richard and Ivan, have either of you seen The Hidden starring Kyle MacLachlan? I have not.
No, but I love a bit of Kyle.
Love a bit of Kyle, yeah. It was great seeing him in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yes.
Doing wacky scenery to bad guy in S.H.I.E.L.D. That was fucking awesome. Nice library scene, just to bring the tone.
Well, won't get that anymore. Library scenes. When are you going to have that now in a film?
Yeah, it's just people sat in front of computers, isn't it? It's the same thing. I sort of want to put one in a film just to be belligerent. I sort of like libraries, one of those things, because like when I was a kid, I was in the library all the time. Like I used to just go and get massive stacks of books in the library. I would just go and sit in the library and stuff, because that was cool. But the one I see a library, I sort of want to go and use it, but I'm sort of like, I'm just going to go look at this. And I used the Cambridge Central one when it came back a few times, but I just sort of think like, I don't really have I love libraries, but I just don't have a use for them anymore.
I know someone who's banned from the Central Library in Cambridge.
Why? Is this to relate to the internet terminals?
No, I can't remember why. I think when I asked, they're like, some bullshit.
Classic
kind of.
That doesn't sound
I'm
good.
innocent.
Yeah. Trumped up charges. That doesn't sound good at all. Banned from the Central Library. I mean, what the fuck, mate? I mean, that's like getting your dick out level. I remember they had a fucking Dark Knight Returns in the children's section. And it's like, there's a debate to be had about comics, but not that one. That doesn't go there.
Yeah. That's, Tintin. That's what you want in the children's section.
Yeah.
Not Tintin Goes to the Congo.
You can't find that in any children's section. So there's a joke in King of the Hill where I think there's a gay couple in Ireland or something, and Bobby goes, "It's just like my two dads. That book you made them take out of the library."
Oh, King of the Hill. Brilliant stuff. The Hidden has a unique gun. Okay.
I do like weird movie guns. People are talking about... Callum Chung is saying, I got off the train, turned around, he looked at me. They were making babies in the closet, and one of the babies looked at me. I've got to scroll up. I was generally sitting next to Stephen Merchant on a train once. I didn't realise till I got off. There you go. I went to David Mitchell signing last Christmas, do you remember? With my friend, and we got, because he doesn't drive, and it's something he derives humour from, we went to Ely train station, got on the train, and he was just stood on the platform waiting to get on the train, and we were just like, oh, we definitely can't bother him, but that's quite funny. And then he got in the first class, of course.
Oh, no one...
David Mitchell does.
No one goes in first class. He's a mad lad.
A mad lad. I suppose if you're famous and you ride trains, it's the best way to not be bothered. I fucking got... I don't know. I did not react to this in the proper way when it happened, right? And I really regret it. But I use the trains to work quite a lot when I go to London, as you know. And I have my stuff. So I think I was wearing like my work, like branded workwear. I had my camera stuff with me. I got on the train and I sat unknowingly in first class. I didn't know because it wasn't one of those open ones. And I was there for about 2-3 minutes. And this woman just gets up and goes like, "You do know this is first class?" And I just kind of went, "Oh yeah," and walked off. And then I was just like, "Wait a fucking minute! Like, what the fuck? Like, okay, no, I don't have a first class ticket, but fuck you, bitch!" Like, he looked at me and just went, "You're not supposed to be here," correctly. But fuck you. You know this is first class. I mean, I know I'm scummy, but like, fucking hell, love. I should have toughed it out till the inspector came and then moved.
No, you need to do a Pretty Woman and then get a first class ticket, which she's on the same train as. Then go, big mistake. Even though there's no real payoff for that.
No, good, yeah, okay.
It'll still teach her.
I would hope that she got the reference. Motherfucker.
Roger Comma Mortis. Funny middle name.
Right, it's actually double-barreled.
But yeah, he's getting his zombie cool.
Yeah, starting to rot. See, like, Mortician Lady's like the only one who lives, really, of the main characters.
No, she also
What happens to her?
gets killed off screen, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
So
fuck,
they just
yeah.
kind of go, remember her?
Yeah. They should have just used a photo so she didn't have to come in for the day. Oh, Phil Robb. I'm digging Phil Robb. Once I was legitimately in first class and brought 4 cans of Stella with me and drank them just to see if I got any funny looks. What a hero.
Good work.
That is absolutely a hero. Hero move.
As I've mentioned to you many times, Richard, Frank Skinner in his alcoholic days used to drink a bottle of Pernod on the morning train, which was a way of guaranteeing no one would sit next to him.
See, when I was younger, because I used to shave my head when I was younger for a spell, just out of laziness, and that was a guaranteed way to get your own train, a seat. But whatever, like no one said next to you, it was great. When you're this age, you're just kind of like, well, you're just old. And nobody's like, sort of like, what's his game? This young bloke with a shaved head. It's just sort of like, it just looks like a spare Lenin made of foreskin. Like, what's what's it? I mean, people still don't sit next to me, but it's mostly out of pity than anything else.
I was I was at a cash machine today. And there's a guy, I was waiting behind someone who was at the cash machine. And he's taking a while, and then I realised at no point has he taken cash out while I've been standing here. He took cash out before I got here, and he's just standing in front of the machine, arsing about with his wallet or something. It's just like, what? Get a grip, man.
Weird flex.
What are you doing?
Weird flex.
It's so... Imagine going into a urinal and someone's finished pissing, then they're just standing there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, just stand
It's
there.
like, what are you doing, mate? Unimpressed.
Oh, I've definitely been like working at someone's office before. You know, I go to a lot of tech companies and stuff like that, and I'll just sort of like wash my hands, have my piss, maybe just check out everything's going all right, and then just do a massive fart, and then someone walks out the cubicle. So, oh no. But I've got a good tracker for who I'm working for, so it's never the client, so it's fine. Just do a massive fart.
No, they're ready to rumble.
See, it's clipping along.
Yeah, he's got... Is that fingerless gloves now?
It's like a
He gets cooler and cooler.
finger holderizer for his
Oh,
smashed
of
hands.
course, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm a big believer in that that asymmetric character look. I think that's what works so well for Mad Max. 'Cause he's got the leg brace and like the one shoulder pad and stuff. It just looks cool. Rob Myers. Once I was walking into work and passed by Jason Statham standing outside a diner with his bum hanging out in a hospital gown. Yeah, between shots from
brilliant.
Crank.
Brilliant.
Fuck, man, Rob Myers. Rob Myers saw a piece of history. That's fucking amazing.
That was fantastic. Oh, I wish I'd been there to see In Between a Crank.
Crank crack.
That's my sequel to A Scanner Darkly.
Oh, good.
In between Crank.
In between Crank. Rob Duncan says hi, by the way. I spoke to him briefly earlier. He's going to be back in touch with you when he's had some sleep. Which we're into week 2 of Baby. And Duncan, bless him, sounds like he has not slept in a long time. Let's talk about a garage. I did see a thing. I saw a kind of behind the scenes photo of Baby Driver, which was shot on film because he's one of those, you know. And it was the rig, you know. I was thinking about this earlier because the driving scenes in this, and it was the classic rig on a car because that was Bill Pope shot that film for Right. And it's just like this rig of just like, because those cameras have those huge film reels on top. It's just these big fucking beastly things, and you just see the rigs on the car, and then that's all just for one side of the take, and then I have to reset the whole thing and do that. It's just, oh god, it makes me anxious just looking at it. Speaking of Scanner Darkly, did anyone see the show Undone? No.
Is it based on Scanner Darkly, or is it just some sort of cool rotoscope?
Philip K. Dick business. My brother's here.
Hello, brother. And Niall. Hey there, Niall.
He's on YouTube, but if he was on... He's on Twitch, but if he was on YouTube, he'd be an admin. Hold on, can I make him... Oh, no, I remember. The fucking thing of making people admins on... Yeah, I remember making admins on Twitch is really fucking fussy. So too
This
bad.
bit, and it's like, oh, okay. We'll pop in the house. Oh, there's a movie. Do. He didn't take the poison. Oh well. Guess nothing's gonna happen in this scene.
Yeah, there's no foreshadowing here whatsoever.
Uh-oh!
Oh no!
Oh, he's dead now.
That is not a very good.
No.
Because it's like it's only because of the outfit you know it's him. It's sort of like there are great effects in this movie, but that's where you just kind of like. There's a great twist though.
Well, it comes out of nowhere. It's just like, oh, okay, Piscopo's dead.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Which things and really horribly as well. Things being what they are, we know where this is going to go. Piscopo's coming back, not as a hologram comedian, but as a zombie Piscopo.
To be fair, that must have been a tough setup to kill someone.
Take some time, yeah. Tell you what, it does remind me of remembering. Is it Civil War when Baron Zemo is kind of drowning that guy at the beginning of the movie? Do you remember? He goes in the guy's house. And he takes him. He has him set up like that over a sink, and he's got like drips. It's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And it's a Marvel movie, so you don't see out, but it's enough. It's just like, wow.
No, that's a good opening Badman scene. It's like, check out this Badman.
Look at the Badman. Right, so if you are watching, I feel like not many people are watching the movie, which is fine. But if you are, this is a really cool effect sequence, and it's really quite nasty as well. It's not very nice, but it's got like obviously kind of special makeup, but then there's stop motion in it as well. So they do the kind of thing. It's what they did in the Evil Dead movies, where you draw on some poor actress to sit still for a very long time, and you kind of draw. So I think they do this. They paint on the kind of rot on her, and then her hand kind of shrinks away and stuff. And it's kind of great. Richard has got your shirt on. Treat has got your shirt on. Yes, he has. I think I went on brand this week. I don't know why. Did loud shirt last week. We're going brand this week. That would be. Here we go. Ruh-oh. It's very silver, isn't it? That's kind of like the robot lady from Superman 3. Yeah. So watch it. This is great.
It's a bad day for Treat. He died. His buddy died.
Her body died. Oh, look at that! The little wound opens and stuff. Look at this. And she gets a case of melty face.
Bad case.
I got a bad case of melty face.
Caused by crying.
Oh, how good is that? Looks amazing. The goo comes out of it. Blah.
Bad times.
My face. Who knew I was beautiful? So this is like they set this up, and this is what's going to happen to him and Piccolo. But it's all kind of wacky and knockabout from here on in. Great little insert there of his.
Yeah, good to see the unibrow.
Yeah, the way the head rolls off there is great. Oh yeah, and it talks.
Please
Forgot about that.
forgive me.
Gotta gear. Yeah, it's got a few kind of little silly bits in it, but it's an amazing sequence. Like the melty face was incredible. Niall's saying, did we watch this as kids? I don't think so, man. Like me and Vicky watched this on Netflix years and years ago. We may have watched it as kids and I blanked it out, but Captain Pete's Adventure says fanny fingers, which I'm okay. Neil Hutchison, where at? Hey Neil, time code wise, 1 hour on the nose. So if you spin to around there, it's a bit of a delay on this, but spin to around there and you should be all right. Yeah, it is a bit like the Effect and Creep show, Floyd. It's quite similar. Rob Myers says she chose poorly. I used to do that all the time. Anybody chose anything, I'd always go, you chose wisely. But Indiana Jones quotes are played out, so whatever.
It's all about Crystal Skull quotes.
That's it, mate. I like to do the gopher noise. People go, is that the gopher noise from Crystal Skull? I go, yeah, man. The best Indiana Jones film.
Apart from Part-Time, I can't think of any.
Part-time.
Can't think of any other Crystal Skull quotes.
Look at my head. I'm Indiana Jones.
Oh, actually, like Berlin, Indy.
Oh, God. The game has changed. Have a banana.
I will fight your alien.
What's his name in that as well? Like his character's name?
Well,
He's called like Rusty Bilbo or something. I can't remember. It's called stupid.
Rusty Chungus.
Rusty Chungus. He's dialing buddy. He's got the code. The Piscopo code.
Piscopo.
The failed novel by that guy who did those books that nobody cares about anymore.
Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, yeah. I once had a close friend of mine insisting to me that the Da Vinci Code was based on real stuff. Around the time it came out, I was just kind of like, oh, here we go.
Got the melty face now.
Melty face.
Do you reckon Dan Brown's his real name?
It's a very nondescript name, isn't
It's
it?
a very
As owner of a
pretend
nondescript, as an owner of a nondescript name, it's hard to tell because he's very, very nondescript name. Yeah, I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because Dan Brown sounds like someone that was like in your year at school, rather than the man who cracked the global conspiracy and then made it into a book that everybody read. I love the payoff of the wig thing as well. That's great.
He should wear the goat skull, the ram skull he's got in his office.
Yes.
Revenge McNabb. Andy McNabb.
It's all coming together. I did wonder earlier when the zombie boys burst into the flat, like they shot up a whole load of books, and I wonder if there's, because this is such a shit copy, you can't see what the books are. But definitely, if you put books in a film and have them being destroyed, they need to be. It'd be great if just like all Jeffrey Archer books or something. A weird thing to do in an American film, but there you go. Oh, that's great, Mr. HEC. I remember an article in the newspaper about charity shops asking people to stop giving them copies of the Da Vinci Code. Their shelves are full of them. Fucking landfill, man. Fucking landfill. Those fucking movies as well.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That is probably the weirdest film choice I can think. Tom Hanks, you know. Because Tom Hanks, there are a load of films he's done which I don't care about.
Ron Howard directed at least one of those, didn't he?
Yeah, he might have done all.
So I guess there's like the Ron Howard Tom Hanks relationship. Because I remember, like, I think they did those so like the continuity of the movies is different to the books. So like one of the books is a sequel, they filmed it as a prequel or something, or one of the books is a prequel and they filmed it as a sequel because Tom Hanks looked too much like Colonel Sanders or whatever. Because my image of him in those movies is just looking like Colonel Sanders.
Well, he's got lockdown hair in him. Because he's got kind of like swept back. I haven't had a haircut for 6 months. Kind of Tom Hanks hair.
I love these guys. It's more sort of karate breakdancer guy.
That is great. 80s gang zombie.
Yeah, 80s gang. See, that's what this film's missing is more 80s gang zombies, and it's already got quite a few. He's got his rising sun bandana and a beret. What a look!
White fingerless gloves. They are fingerless, aren't they?
Oh, Ian, Ian. I didn't know that Ian works in charity shops, or I worked for charity shops. We got about 5 copies of 50 Shades a week. We got 3 in one day, and then the sequel books too. Shocking the state some of the books were in for frowny face. I remember some old fella asking me if it were any good. Poor Ian.
Okay, here's the reveal of a dead lady.
Yeah, I'd forgotten about this. Yes, remember your friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it really is everybody dies.
So, hope you don't mind sharing the bed space. Your friend's dead.
Yeah, I do like the kind of Saturday morning cartoon vibes. We've really kicked off Ben Haslam. Hey Ben, good to see you, man. There's a stupid video somewhere on the internet done when I was in college of me running into charity shops with N on-screen Da Vinci Code counter. Oh, with an on-screen Da Vinci Code counter. Got it. Right, very nice. Yeah, very nice. Steve Allen, does he look more like Colonel Sanders and Peter Weller in that KFC advert, though? makes me so sad. Oh, yeah, Darren McNeil Hutchinson's right. It says Darren McGavin is the bad guy. He's like quite a storied, like classical actor. Ian McGar says he sat in the corner and read the first chapter. I never saw him again after that. I remember one of my friends when I worked at the hotel. She had it and she was really, really into it. And I just kept because we used to just sit around bored sometimes and have a laugh. And I was like, "Give me a bit, let's have a look." And I just kept cracking open random pages and reading them out loud, and it's just wall to wall filth. Like, I think that I've never forget the passage I just landed upon first was he put his thumb in her anus and twirled it around. I think it's the word twirled. They make it sound like they're describing like someone making ice cream.
A ripple.
A ripple. He cornettoed it around. I had a Kinder Bueno cornetto the other day. It's boom. See that? The flesh peeling off.
Yeah.
See, this is when we go to final stage treat.
Yeah, final evolution.
Final evolution. This isn't even my final form. He does a great like scream, doesn't he? When he manages to get it rolling all the way down the hill, and he goes like before it blows up, and then he comes out looking dead cool. Like this is the final action figure.
It's such a crazy plan.
I love that he cracks. It's kind of great because it ties back up to his behaviour in the first scene, but the fact he's kind of cracked because he starts out so super straight edge and then he just becomes like nuts.
It does.
He's got the lights on though.
Yeah, the siren kind of comes on.
It's a zombie too. It's a zombie siren.
Zombie siren. Does beg the question, was California's cops mainly zombies by like 1992?
Yeah, I think so.
Because that'd explain a lot.
Mm-hmm. Here we go. So I love that he's just loving it. He gets to keep his hand. He doesn't lose his hand, does he?
No.
He just comes out like...
And classic exploding vehicle days.
Yeah. Yeah. All the cops are zombies and all the vehicles exploded.
Good times.
Ian's talking about so it would seem the 4th book in the Shades books is written from the guy's perspective. It's like a 13-year-old wrote it who googled sex ed.
Look at that, unzipping the body bag. Don't put a zip.
Smoking as well.
Don't put a zip on the inside, guys.
Oh, he definitely put a zip on the inside in case they're accidentally not dead. Look at that. Okay. It's very similar to Bill Paxton's makeup in Near Dark. The kind of half face thing. I just love his mad rock and roll hair and stuff. He just pulls a chunk off himself.
He does look like he should be in some sort of cool rock band.
Yeah, a cool zombie band. Oh yeah, he pulls the badge, doesn't he? I'm a zombie cop. Don't really match the photo there, Chief.
I'm Jake Zombie Cop.
Homicide. Jake Zombie Cop.
Yeah, sorry, what am I saying? Roger Mortis.
This is great. He pulls rank on this guy.
And
it also the super final form is when he's got all the Uzi mags on like his chest and stuff.
I like super dweeby bike cop.
Yes,
That's great.
Yes. You got to have Hollywood does like a dweeby bike cop.
I gotta tell my mom about this.
And he runs over to a payphone. Looks like the Demon Rocker from Trick or Treat. Yeah, good shit. Ian, can we watch 50 Shades next week? Date 3 for you guys. Well, Ian, you have to make a date appropriate overlay then, don't you, mate? So fucking dungeon or something. Oh, through P Loudermilk. So you're gonna get. I'm guessing Vincent Price probably did a day on this.
Yeah.
Because you've got this scene, maybe because the other day's the thing that's shot on VHS and it's one shot of him in a bed.
Yeah.
So maybe 2 days, but like they totally could have nailed this in a day. Oh, through P Louder. I love that Vincent Price is in this. It's so
looks
good.
So great.
Yeah.
Friends and associates, how nice to see you again. He's so great. I love him. And I remember watching this with you, and there's the video bit, and I was like, oh, that's all we get. And then this happens. I was like, yes. Yes.
I was very determined not to spoil that for you because it's a nice little treat that comes at the end. So good, and so on brand. You know, of course you get Vincent Price for this.
It's yeah, you know. Imagine being in a time when you're making your movies and you can be like, oh, let's ring up old
Let's get Vinny on the
old
blower.
VP.
Do you want a beer?
Yeah, go on.
VP. Sounds a bit too much like VD.
I'm the vice president of spooky and scary things.
The vice president of spooky and scary things.
I loved, although, you know, he's involved in some brilliant horror, but I loved the kind of, I think mainly because of Thriller, the kind of Disney vibe level horror that Vincent Price
absolutely. I had a Vincent Price phase when I was younger, and I used to just watch up all the Vincent Price movies because there's such a nice spread all the way from like The House on Haunted Hill, all the way up to like the what's the one where he plays the theatre guy who kills all the critics? Theatre of Blood.
Yes.
All that kind of stuff, and then the late era, because there's all the way through black and white to colour, and he kind of normally plays this kind of, quite often plays the kind of spivvy shyster.
Yeah.
But then there's like the Witchfinder General and Pit and the Pendulum type stuff, and then the Theatre of Blood's a mate, because also insanely high camp. Because it's super sinister, but also insanely high camp. And it's so easy to forget he's in this because it sort of seems incongruous, but when you watch it, it's kind of like, of course he's in it. He breaks all the rules. I love it. It's so good. That's such a great bit of gunplay as well. Like zombie gunplay. You just launch yourself off a bike and skid across your back.
That's essentially something from a John Woo film. You know?
Very much so. That is very much a John Woo stunt. Yeah. So this is it. He got his Uzi mags.
Life without end. Your personal savings.
For 1 billion years. So I love that it's a committee of rich douchebags. And again, very, very much like Death Becomes Her. I mean, it's like it's the same kind of zombiness, but the end premise is setting up. You know, this could be an origin story for Death Becomes Her, and sets up the same premise.
Just need what you call it. Isabella Rossellini to be one of the seats.
Nice. I'm gonna turn it into a liquid. Yeah, so here's his final form. Does he say don't get up? Yeah. Oh no, sit down.
Oh, he looks so cool.
Yeah, it's the ice cream suit, isn't it? It's just the white
ice cream suit with the weird little turquoise handkerchief.
Doug Wanacott says, I saw The Last Man on Earth recently. I thought it was better than I Am Legend. It's way, way better than I Am Legend. It's the closest adaptation of the book, easily. They changed the end a bit, but it's pretty much... Richard Matheson hated it, but so his name's not on the credits, and it's not called I Am Legend, but it's like the best... I've got it, actually. It's the best version of I Am Legend, easily. But it's so fucking bleak, man, for like a film made when it was. I love that guy's snarl.
From behind, that almost looked like Owen Wilson. The kind of Owen Wilson swish blonde hair.
Oh, gee. Yeah, see, final phase zombie treat. So I sort of think like it's all the kind of zombie gunplay in this because they just empty the clips into each other. It's great. The zombie gunplay in this sort of feels like it'd be a good premise for a game because you can't hurt yourself. You can throw yourself, but at the same time you have to figure out a way that game isn't boring. Because if it's just God mode all the time, then what's the point?
I guess.
Grenade.
You're gonna get beats by Drade.
No, he hasn't synced his phone.
I guess losing limbs, maybe.
Yeah, I wonder. I suppose it's like if there's too much punishment, it's over. Maybe you have to kind of recharge yourself with the machine or something. But the idea of like you can set up those John Woo things where, you know, it's about kind of cool stunts that include disregard for your own safety, right? That's the whole vibe. I think.
Like, I'll go with the Uzi. It's brilliant.
Oh, you're killing all the rich douchebags. You should have used your own machine.
I do like how they're super old as well.
Yeah. He's so good. Treat Williams gives great badass when he like.
Yeah.
Because he does all the head tilts and the looks and stuff when we get into this phase of Zombie Treat.
Look at Vince just reacting to shit.
Vinny P. Zombie hench. Yeah, Roman beat him up with guns like Cadillacs and dinosaurs. That's my vibe. Yeah, you play as Piscopo and Williams.
Yeah.
And then the more you get into the game, the more zombied you are, so you're totally decayed by the end.
Well, no, I reckon you have a life, and then when you lose that life...
Oh, nice, yeah. So, inevitably, you're kind of zombied up by the end of the game, but when you get hyper good at it, you can make it to the end as OG Dirty Harry Treat.
They'd have a different little ending. Where they both, I don't know, go to Acapulco.
Well, maybe I would quite like to. Maybe the end of the film occurs halfway through the game, and then the rest is in heaven, sort of like Doom Eternal style.
Exactly.
Yeah. You go to beat up the Khan Maker.
Don't do it, Doug.
Again, because it's a film so silly, it totally gets a pass. But he just kind of goes like, "No, just try harder to remember." And it's like, "Oh yeah,
Yeah.
one of those."
Remember Death Day? Oh yeah. How could I forget Death Day? I double checked. I forget. I think this is 23rd of April. This is meant to happen because they're doing the Death Day thing.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, hang on, that's not the day Hitler died, is it? It isn't,
Okay,
thankfully.
okay,
That would be very weird.
Not a great link up, let's face it.
Yeah.
Just try harder to remember. He does a great kind of like Frankenstein's monster thing when he first gets out the machine, doesn't he?
There's a music video where Lou Reed's face is like a animatronic robot thing, and then he starts peeling off all his latex skin and stuff. At points, Joe Piscopo acting looks a bit like that Lou Reed animatronic head.
I've never seen that. That's crazy.
It's weird, but also shit. Like Lou Reed.
No arguments there, my man. Yeah, what was it? Fucking the film Soul Man, named after the song Soul Man by Sam and Dave, has a cover of Soul Man by Lou Reed.
Ooh.
And it's really shit.
Ooh.
And it's just like,
you
what?
didn't have to tell me that.
I was eating. Yeah, it's just a really shit cover. I mean, that film is a deeply questionable film, actually. But
It's weird.
you know,
It's a weird film.
I think it means well, but it's just kind of like, oh, guys, you know.
What happens if you zombify someone who's still alive?
They become double alive. Which is dead, because 2 negatives make a positive. Or 2 positives make a negative.
It's going to become a Highlander.
Ah.
It all makes sense.
And Vincent Price's day of shooting is over.
Oh, what it must be great when you can get an acting gig which is just like, well, look over there and react.
Yes, yes. Can I have my money now?
What do you want me to react to? A ghoul covered in spiders? Yeah, whatever, Vince.
Perhaps a vampire covered in snakes.
Money, power, eternal life, riches beyond your wildest dreams.
Moans from the void. Just stand there. Really.
Actually, are they? Do they kill Vincent?
Yeah, no, he definitely does. I think he gets the machine blows up or something. There's no way Price gets out of this. Keep a 90-year-old Vincent Price covered in squibs being pulled across a room by a chain.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it must blow up. Surely.
I think the implication is because you can't have like Vincent Price doing stunts. It'd be great if there's just a really hench stuntman with a white wig on. So it's great. They walk off into the light like they're going to heaven and stuff. And
yeah, it's very nice. What about Vincent Price walks out in like the bodysuit of that biker guy at the start? So it's like a big barrel-chested man.
So this, you know, they do walk off. They do the kind of heaven thing where they walk off into the light and everything. But it's a film that doesn't really allow for a sequel. But I suppose lazily kind of go, they can bring people back from the dead. But it's like, okay. I mean, Robert Picardo gets mad high billing.
Oh, yeah.
Mad high. Just as Ivan pointed out earlier.
That's Dead Heat, everyone.
Dead end stream. Well, I say this more than I should have to, but this was easily our most disastrous stream. No, actually it wasn't. You weren't there when we were upstairs and my my desktop's wireless dongle kept crapping out like every 25 minutes. We just had to ride it out. That was our most disastrous stream. But this was YouTube's fault.
Yeah, Shane Black plays Patrolman.
Not the dorky one. Because I was kind of half... Yeah. I was half kind of looking out for Shane Black, but...
But surely it'd be called, like, Bike Cop.
Yeah, I guess Patrolman.
I don't know.
I mean, yeah, I kind of always thought, like, Shane Black should be in this, but he is, and I just didn't fucking know. So that tells you what I know. Oh, my God. Well, there you go. We hope you liked... we hope you liked Dead Heat. I like Dead Heat very much. It's a great, fun movie.
If you don't, there's something wrong with you.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
And the only treatment is fried piskies. Like
if you don't
Latin
think it's
for
a
fish.
treat, you're taking the piss, Capo.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, wait. If you don't think it's a treat, Williams, you're taking the piss, Capo. His surname's William. There's rhyme and reason there. Yeah, so I like that. I like it. It's a good movie. It's just shit. Make Up for Mr. Williams by Kenny Myers. I know that name. I knew the name Kenny Myers. I think Kenny Myers is quite a well-known makeup guy.
Well, like any good film, there are some great names in the credits.
Yeah, Kenny Myers is... Back to the Future, Galaxy of Terror. Okay, yeah. Yes, sorry. Bastanero. Ray Bastanero. Jeffrey Purpose.
Yeah.
But Purpus.
That's a brilliant name, isn't it?
Set physician, Alan Nutkovich.
Yeah, Dr. Alan Nutkovich.
Patrick Red Johnson. Did he? Hey.
Creative casting? What kind of name is that?
Lionsgate Studios, but with an apostrophe. Sound transfers.
Maybe it's that lion-owned...
Special thanks to Joe Dante.
I was wondering
What
about
did I
it
say
being
earlier?
called Dante's Lab and everything.
Yeah, I wonder, because I did say earlier, it feels like it's like a Joe Dante... I can't remember which stream I said it on, but it feels like a Joe Dante adjacent movie.
Yeah.
There you go, the lost hidden gem.
Dante does it again.
That's like a newspaper headline. Dante does it again.
That explains Picardo.
Yes, yeah, I think, well, maybe it does. So there you go. And next up on Amazon Prime is Blind Fury. I want Blind Fury on. So we're going to go on till 10:30. We're going to end a little bit early tonight. And I'm glad because it's quite stressful earlier when YouTube kept fucking up. But
what do you say about Blind Fury to the people out there?
What would I say about it?
Yep.
I feel like that's a leading question.
Well, yeah, it's not a yes or no question. What would you say? Would you say it's a good film, a bad film?
Yeah, I like Blind Fury. I mean, it's like the American Zatoichi, isn't it? Pretty much. It's sort of like, but I mean, people say that a lot. But it is important to remember that it is set in the present day.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not period, and I think that's a really big part of Zatoichi. I mean, what it has. But the thing is, It's sort of like the Dawn of the Dead remake. I sort of want to say about Dawn of the Dead remake, just call it something else, but you kind of can't because it's about zombies in a mall. And then when you do the blind swordsman thing, it's like they did call it something else, but it's inevitably going to have comparisons drawn to.
Yeah. What I like is, I think it, unlike nearly every other film that kind of borrows Japanese culture stuff at that time, it really does seem to borrow it kind of faithfully. Because he does very much feel like a Zatoichi character.
Yeah, he's got the
kind of affable, but technically brilliant.
Kind of honor code type shit as well. And
yeah.
He's a little bit smug like Zatoichi.
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
So I love the poster for that, where it's him cutting all the guns. And I think the tagline is, I think that the very sensitive tagline is, he may be blind, but he don't got no dog. Or something like that. It's a really eggy tagline.
Eggy
Allen.
tagline.
Yeah. Have you guys seen the movie by Richard Stanley, Hardware by Richard Stanley? Hardware is a legally acknowledged rip-off of the 2000 AD strip Shock, which is set in the Judge Dredd universe. And I want to like it, but I find it really boring. And then I find the robot at the end to be, because it's just sort of an indistinct tentacle monster. It's got a cool head, but then it's like this indistinct tentacle monster, and it's sort of like, I kind of wanted a cool robot, and I felt like the build up to it, because it's one of these things where you know something bad's going to happen, but it just feels like tons and tons and tons of portent without any real kind of substance to it. People seem to love it, and Richard Stanley's cool as fuck. He's a mad cunt.
Very cool guy. Isn't he doing something soon?
He just did Colour Out of Space with Nicolas Cage,
that's it.
Lovecraft.
We need to see that.
Yeah, it's on Prime, I think.
Worms had a question about Lower Decks. I think asking if we'd seen it.
Not yet. I need to use the VPN so we can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, unavailable internationally.
Yeah. So we'd have to steal it, and I'm not breaking the law. I'm breaking the law for nobody.
Not for CBS.
No,
we have too much faith in them.
I love CBS. They're doing such a good job with Star Trek. But
yeah, it's critically brilliant stuff. That's what CBS stands for.
Critically brilliant stuff. Critically brilliant Star Trek is what they're changing it to at the end of the year. The Star Trek Black Mirror episode. Yeah, I kind of dug that. That's quite cool. It was quite fun.
I remember not being too taken. I don't. Yeah, later era Black Mirror. I feel.
Yeah, it's less gripping, isn't it?
Yeah, it just doesn't feel like it knows what it wants to say about stuff.
I liked that one. I liked the Star Trek stuff was really well done, and I liked the way they escaped without spoiling it. I liked because they do a kind of heist. Because it's about digital characters doing a heist on the real world, and they then have to manipulate people's social media profiles and phones, and and yeah, I liked that. I thought that was nice. I still haven't watched the Miley Cyrus one.
Oh yeah.
I watched the others. I quite liked the one with Falcon in it. I can't remember his real name. That was quite good. That was the beat 'em up one, the virtuality beat 'em up one.
No, I don't think I saw that.
That was really good. That was really good. That had a very interesting take on kind of, let's say, sort of displaced sexual energy. I thought it was quite an interesting episode.
Okay.
Do you think Rebellion Studios should just do a Future Shocks web series when they can test out mental Future Shock style stories? Says Steve Allen. That'd be quite cool. If that was like, thing is with that, you'd have to do it on a budget. But if you were letting people pitch 10-minute shorts, and it was like, here's 10 grand or whatever, because I wonder how, because that's how 2000 tested out its writers and stuff. Like a Future Shock series would be great. I don't know. There are a bunch of great Future Shocks you could adapt, but like to have someone come and say like, you can do. Like Comedy Lab, you can come and do this, essentially a pilot or a thing.
Yeah,
a few series came out of Future Shocks, didn't they?
Yeah.
I'd be up for that. I mean, I just sort of, I know someone I know works for Rebellion, and I'm not going to say their name, but they work for Rebellion, and they've written a few things for them and stuff, and I know there's stuff going on at that studio. And I know the point of that studio, like it'd be very easy to say, like, oh, they're just going to make 2000 AD things, which is not the case. They're going to rent it out to the BBC and ITV and Channel 4 because it's a huge space. Like the ideal thing is that they're going to make the Judge Dredd show, which is like sick to death of people saying like, when's the Judge Dredd show going to happen? It's like, I don't know. It tells me. Like, I don't fucking know, man. But I wish I did. But that just seems so ridiculously huge that. I wonder if that, that kind of Judge Dredd escape room thing, that Judge Dredd experience is opening in London.
Yeah.
Which we are going to. Well, at least I am. But
Oh, yeah, I should.
I wonder if that's kind of, obviously it's its own thing because these things aren't cheap, but I wonder if that's maybe designed to sort of drum up interest in that world.
Could be.
Or at least not designed to, but someone said we want to do a thing, and Rebellion have kind of gone like, oh, okay.
Maybe that's just going to be the set.
It does sound, from their pitch, it sounds ridiculously huge. So yeah, sure, why not? Like,
to be fair, it's almost a Dread story. Grand opening of a crazy locked room thing. Suddenly, a pandemic happens.
Yeah, I think we've both read enough Dread that we probably shouldn't go when it opens. Every time someone opens a big thing in Judge Dredd, it goes horribly wrong. Like every single time.
True.
I can't remember what the so like Die Laughing, the last Judge Dredd Batman crossover is about the opening of a big pleasure dome. So there's a group of hedonists that are going to open a big pleasure dome, and it's like they're going to be sealed in there.
Yeah, they're closing a big pleasure.
They're closing a big pleasure dome.
Yeah, it's their it's like their nuclear bunker. They're like, oh, all of you guys are douchebags.
It's sort of like an ecosystem thing. We're just going to go and take drugs and fuck each other inside a big sealed dome. Then Joker gets turned into a dark judge, and the dark judge is going and kill everyone, and of course, and Judge Dredd and Batman have to stop it. But what I like is there's a bit where because it was by Jason Brasho and Jim Murray. It's amazing artwork, and there's one giant splash kind of double page spread, and it's where I think Joker's power as a dark judge is he laughs and it makes people's heads explode.
Yeah.
And one of the people whose heads is about to explode. Is a very detailed picture of Richard Wilson, i.e. Victor Meldrew. And there's just like a massive Victor Meldrew face in this big spread. It's fucking brilliant.
He's such a hedonist.
Yeah, he loved it, man. He loved it. He was all about that banging. I mean, there's another one by Greg Staples where the main character was exactly Chris Evans.
Yes.
Or the guy who gets all the sap or whatever.
Yeah, no, there is a complete Chris Evans. What that story was. When will all the pandemic movies start coming out? Asked Benny Legend. I reckon they won't.
I had this conversation with Toby, and I think Toby and I were going to do an episode about it. Because I think the pandemic might kill off the zombie genre a bit as well. Because it's because I just think once you live through something, you don't want to hear about it anymore. You're kind of tired of it. Because I mean, something like 9/11 was hugely influential, but that happened in a day, and then we had the massive repercussions.
Yeah.
Whereas this becomes this thing where it becomes life, and it becomes dreary, and we're well into the dreary phase, and it's kind of like, do people really want that now? I mean, because I know like Contagion, Steven Soderbergh's Contagion, which is a great movie, trended on Netflix at the start. Which I found really funny and quite morbid, but people were watching it in droves at the beginning.
Yeah, no, well, there seem to be a lot of disaster movies that have been doing very successfully. Not all kind of disease ones, but a lot of kind of world-ending type disaster movies on stream services. And I kind of get that, but yeah, I think you need, people want something on top of it. Not just a pandemic movie, because, like you say, that's what we've had. It's like, oh yeah, well, if you kind of tart it up in something else, then that kind of gives people enough distance that it feels a bit weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I wonder. We will get to. Toby and I are currently doing work together, so we were going to record some stuff because I really wanted Toby's perspective on that because he's an academic and stuff, and a screenwriter. But we're actually doing like work. We're working on like a doc together for a client. So like we had all this stuff planned, and it just went out the window because I just had to go and film like 3 solid long ass days at the drop of a hat, and now he's writing the script and we're just working on that, so I don't have time to do anything with Toby. Just suggesting to Toby, let's talk about Hawk the Slayer. We'll probably give him a fucking aneurysm, which is what we were going to talk about actually, and the pandemic shit as well.
That was a good shout, Ian. All the soaps are pandemic orientated.
Yeah, they're coming back soon, aren't they, after their hiatuses. Hiati. They don't have a choice though, do they?
Well, that's the thing, if it's going to be all played out in soaps. It's like,
Yeah, I sort of wonder because I think we'll get. So, for example, there was a big surge in domestic abuse in the pandemic, which is sort of horrible. And I think, it's really grim to say, but I think people will need to work through that and discuss that, and there's going to be true life stories and things. And I think that kind of thing will come through. I think pandemic as Roland Emmerich style big disaster, probably not so much.
What about Pandemeric?
Pandemeric!
Yes.
Everyone turns into Roland Emmerich following a Chinese
Roland Emmerich
virus.
becomes a sentient virus.
Oh!
Trying to destroy the world in the most flamboyant and theatrical way.
Lovely. Oh, I really like that. Yeah, the high camp
He
Pandemeric.
turns clouds into lava, lava into clouds that then turn into bees.
Oh! He turns wasps into dogs that still have wasps' faces. And Jake Gyllenhaal plays Pandemeric. Worms asking a question? I don't know. Braindemic, of course.
Braindemic.
Which fan base tracks the worst, Star Wars or Star Trek? I think they're kind of equal level pegging now, aren't they? It's kind of feel like, because I'm not really in the Star Wars fandom, but you see that, you hear the ripples. We both had to leave. We were both in a bunch of Star Trek Facebook groups that we had to leave because they become so horrible. And I wouldn't mind, but I didn't even really interact with people. It's just seeing people arguing on them all the time. It was just the most toxic thing. It was just like, do you know what?
And it's not like it was, and then this side. It's just like everyone's
awful.
and it just seems like a terrible person.
Everyone's awful. Pick a side. Like there is no, everyone on the political spectrum was just a bag of shit. It's kind of like, man, like. I used to do like Billy Ocean Spock memes, like that. That's when it was fun, and it's sort of like Twitter. Because on Twitter, I might have used this example before, but like, you go on Twitter and someone will go like, "Oh, well, I rescued this puppy. He didn't have a chip in him, and now he lives in our house. And because it's his birthday, I gave him some steak." And then everyone kind of goes, "Oh, that's great." And someone goes like, "Why do you give a puppy steak, you fucking idiot? You can't give it a taste for meat like that. It's cruel. It's cruel to make a puppy eat steak because you won't give it to him again." And then people pile on and go, "You fucking bitch." And it's just like, a really innocuous thing got very horrible very quickly. The Star Trek groups and a lot of Facebook. See, I'm in the. I've told Ivan this before, and it's something I'm going to air here. So when I first I was always a Canon user for most of my career, and then I moved to a Blackmagic camera, which we're using at the moment. So I joined the Blackmagic users group on Facebook, which is quite useful as a couple. And I can't remember what the one that's horrible, but like I said to Ivan that when I joined it, it's just like they're all so mean, like really horrible. Like someone will come in because I'm new to that system, but I kind of get the gist. But I'm not amazing or anything. So people go on for tips, and somebody kind of go like, "Oh hey, so look, I know a lot of you guys really favour the kind of Sigma 35mm lens as a cheap alternative to a cine lens." But I can't afford that, so I'm just using a kit lens. So what should I do? And then someone just goes like, "Go to film school, you idiot!" And everything. Anytime people share their colour grades. They've shot something and they want to share their colour grade. It's kind of like, "Oh my god, have you ever graded anything? That looks disgusting." And like, it looks fine. And it's just like, who are you cunts? Like why are you even in? If you're so pro, why are you here? Like, what's going on?
Well, that's the thing. I really hate the term gatekeepers, but people like that, ... But also, it, to me, it screams of like, "Oh, I have a girlfriend. She's called Donna Big Breasts, and she's the most beautiful woman in Canada." And it's like, yeah, mate, yeah, spend less time commenting on Facebook message groups.
Shouldn't you be banging your hot girlfriend in Canada?
Yeah, it is, people like that. It's like, what? If you're so great at this, if you're so successful and great, why are you spending your time here being mean to people?
Well, this is the thing, people such as that, because I do find that...
I reckon it's a bunch of Oscar-winning cinematographers.
Deakins. I heard like Roger Deakins has loads of alternates on YouTube that he just goes slagging videography channels with. I mean, if that turned out to be true, like...
It'd kind of be brilliant.
Yeah, I would think a lot less of Roger Deakins, but I'd be sort of like, that's amazing. Like this 70-year-old multi-award winning beloved millionaire just creates... I find generally that, because I go on a lot of videography channels and resources and stuff, and there's a really nice community of people. The people who slag each other people who slag others really badly, and just think, if there's something wrong with someone's work, it's absolutely valid to criticise it, but I think in that kind of environment you tend to criticise positively or say, "Hey, have you tried this?" The people who slag off and shame other people's work, regardless of the quality, are not professionals. They do not work in the industry because you just don't do that. You do not do in a world where you live or die on your public image and your portfolio and online presence now. You just don't do it because it's an evil thing to do because they're trying to make a living and you are disrupting that and potentially taking away from their earnings by publicly shaming them. Professionals just don't do that. I'm sorry. So when someone comes in because it's like, oh yeah, there's like too much lens distortion in that shot, and it's kind of like, who are you? Some armchair cunt, like
Well, I was talking to a female friend recently who was talking about the worst, not so much, not now, but who used to be the worst people were women who worked in makeup counters. And they'd be so stinging. Like
that's Arabella Weir, yeah.
And it's like, at a makeup counter. Not makeup artists, not people who work for makeup companies designing lines. It's like, and that's, it's just that horrible kind of bitter, downtrodden.
Yeah, because you're in, but you're not quite in.
Yeah, it's like you think your fucking shit doesn't stink.
Weir's version of that was so good because it was those really... She was so good at those characters, but it was those really subtle withering put downs,
horribly passive aggressive,
because it's like she would always be sort of like, because wasn't she South African, that character, and she'd be kind of like, it looks great on a face like yours and stuff like that, and it was just really horrible.
Really let yourself go, haven't you?
We should watch the Far Show again. It's fucking great. I think there was something that I've missed a bit. I talked briefly with Duncan about this earlier, and we have a really nice crowd over here, and it's funny. I think when we first started out, like we used to get, I used to be deleting horrible comments or foolishly partridgey responding to horrible comments quite a bit. It doesn't seem to happen so much anymore. And when you say that in a video, people kind of go like, aha!
The trolls all about.
Yeah, exactly. They're all sat there. But like, you lot are great. It always seems really nice. I think we've had a few... Someone started using racial slurs in the chat a couple of weeks ago, and I just banned him. Never heard his name before, didn't know who he was. It's just some random cunt that wandered in. But you lot are lovely all the time, really nice. We've got a really nice little community in here, and we don't worry about you guys too much. We all see the same faces and stuff, which is really nice.
As I've said to you before, like you made me an admin, and I was kind of like, nothing for me to do.
Sam said the same.
Everyone's nice. They get on with stuff.
Steve Allen says, aha, this is where we turn, Richard. Fuck, they were waiting for me. But and I don't see a lot of people arguing among themselves either, which is the other thing. So you go in comment sections. When we were on Ollie's thing, they used to be like, I think, I'm in no way reflecting this on him, but I think just because of the sheer size of that channel, we used to get really horrible shit all the time. And what kind of did bother me about him was like someone would be really deeply slagging me and he wouldn't delete it, and I have to tell him to delete it, and it's kind of like, did you really think I just wanted to sort of... I'm not saying I shouldn't see it, but like when someone has like gone on a fucking campaign of... which I had, he wouldn't do anything about it, and it's like, fucking hell, mate, like, you know what I mean? But I think, again, I don't think that reflects on him. I think it's just because when you get to a certain size, that's what happens. Because you're just a big target. You become someone like this size channel goes under the radar for the trolls because it's just not worth their time. But when you become like a big channel, it's worth their time. In as much as trolling is ever worth anyone's time, but it's worth their time in their hobby.
It's a way to spend time while you're waiting for your train to get to the station.
I think that's it, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
I think it's just like, if your hobby is like trolling people online, you're just like waiting for the 10:15 out of Chepstow, or you're on a bus, or
But that train never comes.
The train was filled with spiders.
Don't you realise, Darren? The train was never here in the first place.
He bought a ticket for the ghouls section. Oh, fucking hell. Well, Mr. HEC likes the train analogies. I feel someone called Numb Willie on Twitter, which is quite... I always call it Twitch. That's quite a name, Numb Willie.
Howdy, Numb Willie.
The stream is raided by people with Numb Willies. I think we'll knock it on the head. Yes, we're going to knock it on the head in a bit.
I like every now and again Highlander talk comes up. Just kind of apropos of nothing, people.
Do you know about the?
Oh yeah.
You know, yeah. Okay.
People come in and either go, "Yeah, Highlander's rubbish," or Dan Lyle's there going, "I like Highlander," or whatever he said. And I love how it's just one day it'll become the war, the channel. That's what's going to tear the channel.
That's what tears the channel apart. I would quite like to. I'd quite like to revisit Highlander, but it was kind of lightning in a bottle, really. Because I just think, because the problem, because that was the thing, like Ollie just made us, Ollie got us to do it without really consulting us as to whether or not we liked it, and we didn't. And we had to watch it, so we just dicked about, and he was trying to hold it all together. And I think a lot of the comedy came from him trying to hold it all together whilst we were just slagging it. So I don't really have any interest in this. You could have got somebody else to do that. So if we just did it again, we'd be artificially recreating it.
I feel like
I do this every now and then, but Highlander is shit. Like, I just
what you need to do is hire substitute teacher who then puts Highlander on for you and then scolds you and Duncan for not paying attention.
Yeah, the last week of term, a substitute teacher puts on Highlander. I remember Mrs.
This'll be on the test. Pay attention.
Listen to all the songs by Queen. Did you? You went me and Tom's English class. Mrs. Atkinson let us watch. She let me bring in my VHS of Lock Stock for us to watch at the end of term. Bless her. And we had to break it up over 2 lessons. And she didn't. When it got all sweary, she didn't turn it off. She knew it was an 18. Respected her for that.
Nice.
Yeah, Frank likes Highlander. David James is saying get Frank to watch it with you. That would be quite funny actually to do it, Frank, because Frank actually likes it. I loved it because I got to hear Richard and Duncan do the best West Scottish accents ever. That was the best thing as well ever, because loads of Scottish people are not like this, but like a handful of Scottish people came in saying we were being offensive and racist, and it was like his mum's Scottish and my mum's Scottish. Like, I know doing the kind of mixed heritage thing is kind of a cop out, but it's like, my mum's from Scotland. I grew up in a very Scottish house. Like, we do Burns night and shit, and my mum does Scottish food. We are up there all the time. It's like, that's why I was doing my shit accent. It's sort of like I don't want to be like Bryan Cranston in Seinfeld, who converts to Judaism so he can tell Jewish jokes. You know what I mean? But at the same time, I wasn't just like putting out my ass. But my Scottish accent is shit, and I mostly use it to wind up my mum.
But your Jamaican accent's great.
So next week we're watching Cool Runnings. Oh, I did used to have. I had like a kind of quite a boomer boss at a job. I think I told you this. At a job a few years ago, who used to he really liked his cricket, and he was a nice guy, but he had like a wacky Indian cricketer character that he used to do, and he'd just be in my office doing like an Indian accent, and I was just like, well, I'm not going to laugh at this. And the more I didn't laugh at it, the more he did it. But at the same time, I wasn't going to call him out on it because, which I'd regret. But I was on a temporary contract. I just lost my other job. I was going to sit there as he does this kind of horrible bud ding ding type thing.
I hate office high noon comedy where you're there being like, I'm not reacting.
High noon is so true.
Carry on doing
the close up of the eyes.
Yeah, nothing's happening here.
Yeah, I'm not going to react to your whatever racist boomer shit that you're doing. Like, fucking Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, I think.
A Zupa chat.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Here we got. Oh, Al Ewing, 666. Hey, Alex. Opinions on 3 movies: The Lighthouse, Colour Out of Space, and The New Invisible Man. If you haven't seen him, just talk about your favourite Red Dwarf. Alex is big time Red Dwarf fan. A kind of young American Red Dwarf fan.
Oh wow, interesting.
Yeah. Well, I think because Alex and I have been Facebook friends for ages, and Alex posts what I like sitting on Facebook is because Alex posts up like Red Dwarf memes, and it's sort of come from like a young American bloke, and I'm sort of like, all right.
Well, we haven't seen any of them.
No,
those movies.
No, have not. I want to see all of them.
I think Colour Out of Space and Lighthouse are cheap on Prime, like £2 rental or something.
Okay, good.
Best Fear Squid.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. What's that episode called? Oh man. Series 5 anyway, but yeah, Fear Squid one.
Fear Squid's pretty cool. Weird mergy guy. Remember the guy who He's like super science.
Oh,
strange
Legion.
face. Yeah, Legion.
Legion.
That's
That's
quite
great.
a cool
Well,
episode.
that's a great, because Red Dwarf does a great little. What I really always liked about it was it does little great kind of Twilight Zone sci-fi traps that they have to get out of. So in Legion, they realise he's like a gestalt of all of them. So Crichton realises if he knocks out the other three, it's only him left, and he has to serve them.
Yeah.
That's cool. And it has the bit where really great effect where he takes the Lister's appendix out. He's a little laser thing, and then they have to use like the psychic forks and stuff. I always really love Series 5, which is where the Despair Squid comes from. And
shit, fucking Western one.
Oh, Gunman of the Apocalypse.
Yeah.
That's where Mark filmed Fistful of Lead with Duncan.
Ah.
Quarantine. I always love Quarantine. That's the one with all the magical viruses that make you really lucky or whatever.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
Rimmer, that was Mr. Oh, because we have a follower called Mr. Flibble.
And it's Mr. Flibble.
Was it, Uncle Arnie's going to have to fry you alive with his hex vision, but the laser beams come out of the hand puppet, and it's just they're all locked in the room together, driving each other nuts. Like it's fucking great.
Cat Religion.
Oh man!
From like Series 1.
Waiting for God. That's called. Yeah, Series 1.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was just thinking about because like Series 1 and 2, I always liked the time hole one, Stasis Leak, where they find a time hole in Series 2 and they go back.
Yeah.
You remember? And like I tell you what, actually, the Me Squared is a great one because it's great situational comedy where Rimmer gets to have another Rimmer. So like, and then realizes what an awful piece of shit he is, and what a bastard he is. Like, but it doesn't change him, which is great. So Sam Montgomery, hi guys, sorry for being quiet this year. Don't worry, Sam. Don't worry about that. £10 from Sam. Thank you very much, Sam. Since you talk about Valverde's peaceful totalitarian state, village, if we're being honest, Hamlet, Sam, let's face it. What's your plans for the channel? Got any goals? Okay, thanks for coming to the stream.
Stretch goals.
Well, the thing is, everything's been put on hold because of this. So all we're really doing at the moment is watch parties. In terms of content, we were going to revamp our content because we felt like the review show that's out on Mondays wasn't really working. We're going to get rid of it, but we wanted to carry on camera stuff and give it a bit more pep. Watch parties were invented for the pandemic, but they seem to have become a great thing that people enjoy. Less so this week because it was a disaster, but watch parties will continue. I want to bring out Risky Quizness. Don't really know, to be honest. I think part of what we do is like we like being silly and having fun, but because we're friends with Brad and Mark and Toby and people like that, we like to actually have we like to host like actual British film people on here to talk about British film, not like British film stuff, but like independent film, and have like creators on here and stuff like that. So,
and you're going to fit that in between reaction videos.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Mainly going to be reaction videos, guys.
Because I don't have any kids and neither does Ivan, so it's going to be like our mums reacting to things. And because of the pandemic, we'll have to put each of them in a Zorb.
And also videos on endings explained. Space Jam, ending explained.
Space Jam. I mean, I think what will happen is we're going to do Space Jam ending explained, but then we'll realise that there's a hunger for Space Jam content, so we'll just do Space Jam Minute. And
Space Jam reaction videos.
So
like every dunk, you could do a reaction video for.
Scottish pensioner reacts to Space Jam. Scottish pensioner's son reacts to Space Jam.
So it's going to become the Rootinous Tootinous Space Jam channel.
I think we might be called Space Jam Resources, Space Jam Hub. I thought about Space Jam Galaxy is quite good.
What about Space Jam brackets full video, click below?
Oh, great. What about Space Jam brackets basketball team, close brackets?
Like it.
Yeah, I thought about that. Space Jam slam dunkers, Space Jam brackets the dream team, brackets inside brackets, not the mean team, close brackets, the cartoon film. That's a video below.
Ellipses. Isn't that Bill Murray?
Colon, is that Wayne Knight?
Nice.
Brackets, yes it is. Close brackets, open brackets. He's lost weight now though, hasn't he? But he was fat then, close brackets.
It doesn't work exactly, but Wayne Knight and Bill Murray merge them together, lose hair.
Yes.
Danny DeVito.
Okay. You remember that in the 90s when that morphing software got really popular? And you could do that thing, if you found the exact frame in the middle, you would have that hybrid person. Yeah, that's your DeVito. Oh yeah, congrats to Brad Watson. I showed you Brad's wrapped his film with Kelsey Grammer.
Yeah.
Our very own Brad Watson has wrapped a film with Kelsey Grammer, and it's in Variety because it was the first British production to shoot and wrap under social distancing.
Oh, wicked.
So there you go, fucking Brad. Just remember when he was eating a Fray Bentos pie on this very sofa. That's what Kelsey Grammer was watching YouTube. I heard, actually, down the grapevine, that Kelsey Grammer was watching YouTube, and he watched Risky Quizness, and he went, I want that man to direct my movie. I'm Fraser. Why, boy?
I heard during the filming of that film, he turned to Brad and he said, I say, I want to eat a Fray Bentos pound that sofa. How you doing like about that?
Tossed salad and scrambled eggs, I say. I like opera and books.
Scooby-Doo.
My dad's got a dog, but my rug's expensive, real expensive. I'm Fraser.
I'm talking downtown. That's what he said.
Come and get some eggs, Rumpelstiltskin. I'm Kelsey Grammer.
Ask Brad about it.
I'll ask Brad about it. I'll text him later.
Kelsey Grammer.
It was nice being friends with Brad. I feel he'll be deleting my number. People are making money playing comments. Brad Watson has the highest power level of anyone in the VVB network. It's not even close, really. Brad has ascended way beyond.
He's been raptured.
Brad is Super Saiyan. Yeah, he's absolutely been raptured, man.
Phil Robb is in the mood for Bentos.
Good. I chose.
If you've got a loved one who can talk you down, Phil.
Is it time for us do we need to send someone, Phil? Just tell us your postcode. We'll send someone immediately. Do you know who we're going to send? Don't worry, Phil. It's me, Kelsey Grammer. I'll eat your pie. Do you have a spare one for me? This is my voice.
He's set up the Fray Bentos Samaritans. That was a big unveiling yesterday.
Did you hear about his social media app? No. It's called Pie Tin Trust. I didn't even try with that.
Thank you, George, for your comment. Very much.
See, the people who have left the stream are missing this gold.
They don't get the sweet comedy gold.
Exactly, all this sweet.
Don't worry, the Twitch boys will be cutting up the sweet Kelsey Grammer impressions. Sending it to whoever's making a TV movie of the making of Frasier.
I'm surprised there wasn't a 90s revival of Foghorn Leghorn with Kelsey Grammer, because they sound exactly the same, because that's his voice.
They do. Or Scooby-Doo.
Always...
Scooby-Doo sounds exactly like that in the same way that Kelsey Grammer
does. Yeah. I'm gonna eat a big sandwich with a hippie. It's the ghost. This is my voice. He also shares Kelsey Grammer's catchphrase, "This is my voice."
Yeah. And he always calls Shaggy a hippie as well.
He does, yeah.
Come on, a hippie! We gotta run away!
Get in the van, a hippie! I need to eat my special dog food. What has my name on it? This is my voice. Which, oddly enough, because what people don't know is that Scooby-Doo was and always has been voiced by David Hyde Pierce, which is why he was cast in Frasier.
It's, we've come full circle.
I'm sad about my wife, but you can't see her. This is my voice. Right, that's
okay. Alex Ewing, Dusty Rhodes as Foghorn Leghorn. I'm down with that.
I would watch that.
That'd be awesome.
I would absolutely watch that. Tossed salad and scrambled eggs all over my face.
Oh dear, what have we done?
Neil Hutchinson saying, didn't Kelsey Grammer date a porn star? That is true. He did used to go out with, I don't know who, but he apparently was in a relationship with a porn star. So, Thingy from Rick and Morty's his daughter, isn't she? You know, what's the daughter of Rick and Morty called? I can't remember. Summer.
Yeah, Summer.
Summer. What's her name? Spencer Grammer? She's Kelsey Grammer's daughter. Hi, I'm Spencer Grammer. It would be more the kind of like, why, I'm Spencer Grammer.
Okay. Why, what do you mean, Rick? I do declare.
I'm clutching my pearls. This is my voice.
If I have to go through another portal, I just don't know what I'll do. The Grammer family.
Oh, God, they're just all like that. And even David Hyde Pierce, who isn't really his brother, just has exactly the same voice.
But that's made money for you. You know, they inherited all the grammar royalties.
Yeah, well, if your family invented grammar, and I think that's the thing, because people talk about the English language and they talk about the difference between American English and British English, but the family that invented grammar went on the Mayflower to the United States, and they're an American family. Sort of like Alexander Graham Bell and the telephone, you know, he was a Scotsman, but he lived and worked in America. Yeah. And grammar was invented in America by the Grammer family.
And it's also why Kelsey Grammer spends all that money doing down binary.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that's a form of language without grammar, and they can make no money out of that.
Let's talk about it. And another thing, I think, because the Grammars aren't really in politics, but I know they do lobby, and I know they've deregulated comma farms. And something that is never talked about, which is grotesque, is that the Grammer family had a comma plantation. And they grew... and they oversaw comma production using slave labour, which is vile.
Yes.
Which was, of course, touched upon in the film Django Unchained. Which, do you know that...
We love you, Kelsey. You're great. Don't stop believing.
I thought there was some good straight-facedness there. We kept that together for quite some time. Just like one of my friends just directed a movie star, and all I can do is...
It's when it comes to insinuating his family becoming rich from slave labour.
Yeah, from having a comma plantation. I just have to insist.
No, yeah.
The absurdity is in place.
It's definitely absurd.
I'm just saying it'd be very difficult to take out of context, I would hope.
In America, you know, Americans call crisps chips. Maybe commas just like a normal thing that was part of the slave trade.
Well, that's the problem, because everybody knows that a semicolon is just a lower grade of colon. So people insist that that's just a higher form of grammar, and it's like, oh, should I use a semicolon? Before they hybridised the crops, there was no such thing as a semicolon.
It's just like nectarines.
Yeah.
They used atomic energy to splice the commas.
Yeah.
Colons, even.
Yeah, exactly. And hyphens come from China. That's the only synthetic grammar. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, it's only synthetic grammar. It could change a lot of mercury.
They use plutonium-255.
Plutonium-255, yeah. They're mostly lead. So every time you use a hyphen, you are incrementally poisoning yourself. It's fucking disgusting, mate. I think we should all go over to binary.
00111 guys.
111 We should have fucked off DeadHeat and just done this.
No, it would have. A few minutes of this. If it had been 2 hours of this, it would have gone into some bad places.
I'm gonna miss Brad. I really like him. I really like being his friend. He won't watch this. I fucking hope he doesn't watch this. Right, we've run way over the prescribed time, so I think I'm going to end it. So I have to take all the lights down and shit. I've got a big day tomorrow. So, I do have to point out. Rob Meyer says, "Welcome to Drunk Stream." Unfortunately, these are 2%ers. Like, we've barely grazed them. We are just stupid bastards. That's all that is. That's all that is. Kelsey Grammer Films next week, says William Lawson.
Money Plane. So. If we could get Money Plane, I want to watch Money Plane.
Quite like to watch Money Plane. Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm down for some Money Plane. Okay, guys, we get Richard turning to a beetroot. I'm going very red from lolling at the grammar talk. So when Ivan shakes his head, I know we're winning. Oh God! Right, okay, we're off ski. Let's say goodbyes to you all. I'm just going to smash the credits in a sec because I just forgot we're on Restream, so things are a wee bit different.
We'll finish our delicious meal. Have a nice dessert.
Yeah, we're going to drink. Ian, thank you, Ian, for your overlay. I was going to keep his card. We'll finish our bottles of wine.
No, this.
So
Where's my hand?
if we were really destructive, I could have poured into the glass.
Not into my glass.
No, it's already full. Well, thank you, everybody. So I just updated the credits roll yesterday. I think one guy squeaked through the other side, so you'll be on the one next month, man. Whoever you were, very sorry. You came through just as I was looking earlier. So updated credits roll. So if you're patroning, it will be your name will be up in lights. Funny, laughing time's over. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.